Hello, me lovelies. Well, I thought I'd come up with a new concept. Hump day with Anne every Wednesday. Because I'm trying to get a little schedule together. So I thought I'd do a hump day. Same sort of thing as I'm doing on the other days, but just special to mark the middle of the week for those who are longing for the weekend to come along. Anyway, just let a few more people get in. Good morning, Declan. Good evening. Good morning. What am I saying? Good evening, Declan. Nice to see you here. So, going to be a few things I want to talk about, but I was actually going to show me fluorite lamp that I bought because someone was saying, "Oh, show us your fluorite lamp." They wanted to see it, but I tried to do it here before I started. You know when you can look on the camera and see yourself, and it looked absolutely rubbish. So what I'll have to do with it is film it separate, actually film it itself and put it up because people are saying, "What's this fluorite lamp like? What does it look like?" Um, they're nice. They are nice. They're lovely things, and I got that one for a bargain price. I've got it here. Here, I'll show you the fluorite part of the lamp, but you won't be able. It doesn't show up without the light in it. But that's what you. It's a big, thick piece of fluorite you get. Now you can't see it here. You can see the bands, can't you? Like there, but when you actually put light in it, oh, it's beautiful. Comes out all green, purple, all colours. It's beautiful. So, but if I put the light on and hold it up to the camera, it doesn't do it justice at all. Yeah, Gary, all's all right with me. I'm okay. I've got a lot I want to talk about. There's been all kinds happening on boob tube, hasn't there? So there's quite a lot I want to talk about. People wonder what I'm wearing today. Well, I've got my rose quartz with some amethyst as well. I love that combination, rose quartz and amethyst. And I put this, I haven't worn this top, oh God, for a long time. The last time I wore this was when I was interviewed by Sean Atwood last time. And I made up a tried on again because when I was getting interviewed by Sean Atwood, literally, I was filling this out. Literally filling it out. And I put it on. Oh God, I've lost a bit of weight. That tends to happen to me during the summer. Well, not so much the summer. During coming on to the autumn, I'll put on for some reason weight. Like I just pile it on. Then come the winter, it starts, or come after towards the end of the winter, let's say, it starts falling off again. But I never used to be like that. When I was younger, it was great when I was younger. I always stayed at the same weight. I never went below it or above it. It was wonderful. Oh, well, I did go below a couple of times because dangerously below a couple of times. I know I'm not anorexic before anyone asks. People used to think I was anorexic when that used to happen, but I'm not. But yeah, so I'm pleased I've been able to shed a few pounds by the looks for it. I have to weigh myself. And I got this snazzy, right, a while ago. This really snazzy scales, weighing scales. We're not that expensive actually for what it does, and it tells you everything. It tells you absolutely everything and keeps a track of your progress losing weight. And of course, I got it. It was a lovely new toy. Then I forgot about it. But seeing as I've naturally lost some without trying, I'll have to have a look again. But yeah, I don't know whether anyone else gets that. I don't know. It's a hibernation thing. They reckon that at one point we must have, way back in time, when we were primates, we must have hibernated, and that's why we lose weight around winter time. Wonder how. Oh, Alison, did I actually say hello to you? I didn't actually say hello, did I? Hello, Alison, lovely. Here we are. Julie Davy. Hi, I followed you from months ago. Love watching you. Always get you on. Catch up usually. Hope you're good. Oh, I'm fine. Thanks, Julie. Hope you are as well. And Foxy Roxy, here we are. Always watches me shows. You've never changed. You always stay the same on your dance. I can do with that. Oh, my weight now as I've got older goes up and down, up and down. I realised how Badger I had to go to the doctor about, oh God, was it a year ago or something like that? A rare event when you actually get to see a doctor, and he weighed me. And I said, oh my God, I'd gone up to a, which for me is the heaviest ever been. I'd gone to 13 stone. Now my ideal weight is 10.5 stone. Work that out in pounds. I can't work out these pounds or kilograms or whatever it is. But that's my ideal weight, 10.5 stone for my height. But get this, right? He measured me as well. Of course, when you get older, they tell you that you shrink. I didn't believe know you shrink as much as you do. I've lost 3 inches off my height. I was just over 5'11", and now I've lost 3 inches. And thought, God, didn't I thought that was when you were about 80 or something you started shrinking. Not, before anyone says I thought you were already there. No, I'm not. Oh yes, Jeanette. Well, I'll talk about that. Actually, I will talk about that. The Warriors, for people who don't know. This is Jeanette Archer, and it's not the fella she was arrested with last time, is it? The fella that got tased. It's some other fella. She's been arrested again. Now, best not talk about it too much because it's more or less rumors going around about why she's been arrested. So it's best not to go into supposition and start discussing it. But I've seen this email that they're referring to, and I'm not really convinced that it's genuine. It might be, I might get a surprise, but when I first saw this email, which purported to be from Janessa Archer, I wasn't convinced that she'd actually, that she'd produced it. I just wasn't convinced. But you never know. You never know. She's that off the wall. She's that crazy. Well, I say that. No, she's as sane as anyone. She's just duping people. And her ego is getting a big boost from the attention she's getting. So I don't know. I have to wait and see. But something needs doing about that woman. And hasn't Samantha Hill come into the satanic ritual abuse jive now? She's trying to get a name for herself. Another one, when she first came out going on about she was abused, she never mentioned anything about this ritual abuse, did she? Never did. Then suddenly it becomes a trend, satanic ritual abuse, and suddenly she's doing it. But I remember her, I never did like a Sam Hill because there was an event ages ago, years ago, a few years back now, and she came in a wedding dress that didn't even fit her, and she was running around with her book that she'd self-published, and telling people, "Oh, you'll find out my story if you buy my book." If you're abused, would you be going around with a big smile on your face, advertising it in a wedding dress, going, "Oh, Batty, something not right"? But then she was on Twitter, sorry, posting short videos of herself in a stable with the Union flag on it, doing all this. Like she was going to reveal herself, but she didn't. See, this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with it with people who really need to, get a talent and then be noticed for having a talent, not just staying up a load of lies and crap. But she'll be another one that will go. Here we are. Here we are, dispatch shrink. Not everyone shrinks though, do they? Mind arthritis and stuff kicks in. I say I've lost 3 inches as I've grown old. It's scary that I didn't know. I thought when you were really old, that's when that starts happening. But 3 inches, I don't know. I'd see it might be with me because of the flood of female hormones that rushed through my body when I was 13. That might be what caused it with me. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. And it did. And I'm look with me with doctors and hospitals. I just go there and I get out. I don't want to know. I don't want big exams or anything. And my doctors go mad because I won't have it. Do you know what this frigging thing drives me? There's something just shot up on the. Come on, go away! I hate it. I can't see you. There we are now. I can. Oh, the thing's popping up all over the place here. Nice. Oh, thank you, Foxy. Oh, no. I mean, I have to say it myself. I'm gorgeous all the time. I'm just gorge. You just want to slap me up, don't you? I can dream. I can dream. But yet, Archer, they want to do something about this. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're getting people, but they're not all vulnerable. It's just silly people who, for some reason, want to believe that things like that are going on. I mean, they'll be going on somewhere. It's no doubt about that, but not like they say. Now, what shall go on to my first controversial topic, which people saw me yesterday. Some people who went into my community page saw it because he's getting on my nerves now. He really is getting on my nerves. Ronan, well, I'll say Holden, official or something now. Who has to be official, doesn't it? The official one. Like there's loads of people trying to copy Ronan, isn't it, out there? So we have to put official. Just says so much about him. But I tried to like Ronan. He's a podcaster. Not podcaster, he's a YouTuber. Because actually, officially, if you're a podcaster, you've got to have a studio and everything, haven't you? Not like I'm doing here, StreamYard. But anyway, just to explain what's happened, I had doubts about Ronan a while ago. Oh, well, most people had doubts with Ronan over Decker Heggie when he was working with Decker Heggie. It blew up in his face, and he apologized and backtracked because basically he was blowing smoke up Decker Heggie's backside to get clicks. But then what made me first think, oh, I don't like this fella, was he did something I hate. We all get accused of clickbaiting. Oh, are you, Crystal Alice? I got you a message I replied to her on YouTube. Lovely to have you on board, sweetheart. And I have seen your videos. Yeah, he did this. Everyone, we all get accused of clickbaiting, but as you've said, some of you will have heard me saying, look, right, what are you expecting people to do? Boring videos about people you don't know, never heard of. Of course, people are going to do clickbaiting. I mean, if you were switching on your television to watch the news or an entertainment program, would people be complaining that they were using what was the highest trend or who's at number one or whatever? No, you wouldn't. That's what you'd be expecting. It's no different on YouTube. But anyway, he was giving out and saying offensive things about people who clickbaited and all this. You'll see the video I did about him in me. If you go back on my videos page. And he suddenly turned round and he said, oh, horrible things. We were snakes, discussing, really being harsh about us and kissing about it as well, about us when he was doing it. And right at the bottom of it went this video that he uploaded to go on about how we're all monstrosities doing that, clickbaiting, and how dare we. Honest to God, it was just a line of names. Decker Heggie, I can't remember now. You'll see it in there. Don't know what show that, but it was in there. Decker Heggie, Podcast Wars, Darren G. And it's like, are you having a laugh here? But he was being serious. Then he did another one on Instagram, which I put on up, where he was telling people what they should be doing. And you know how he's a wonderful fella, how he works all day and comes home and makes content, and how people should be getting, going on and going on and going on. So I thought, I don't like this fella. But then Steve Wraith asked me to go on his channel because he was going to interview Ronan. So I thought, I'll be nice. I was really wanting to cut into Ronan and say, you hypocritical two-faced guest. How dare you insult people like that when you're doing the same thing? But I went easy on him. I went easy on him because I just had not long before on the same channel that run-in with Sean Atwood. And I couldn't be bothered doing it again. I thought, I'm not doing it. That was, believe me, that wasn't planned. That was all coming from my heart when I blew up like that, because he really does annoy me. And the way they were trying to, well, anyone that sees it knows what went on. So I went easy on Ronan, where I wanted to really go in there and say, how dare you? You're doing what you're accusing other people of doing. Anyway, I tried to, was talking to him on Instagram and everything, getting on with him. And he has that horrible little friend, doesn't he? The masked defective, who for some reason can't stand my guts. I've never worked out why. He never actually says it to me. He just mouths it off in comments and things like that. Anyway, I watched a bit of one of his going on. For people who don't know who the mask detective is, he wears masks. He's so dangerous to society. He's so dangerous to the establishment that, if they find out who he is, they're going to take him down. Look, people, if you're on the internet, they know where you are if they want to find you. But he's got this collection of masks. And like little girls collect Barbie dolls or Cindy's. Well, it's like that. Here's his masks, and he thinks he's this. Oh, I can't stand people like that. That's so delusional. They have to wear a mask because they think if they don't, all right, if it's a genuine whistleblower that's coming out with sensitive material, you can understand it. But not someone that when you look at the channel, all that they're doing is putting up crap videos that some other people have done. And he had one on there, and I thought that sums her up all together about his personality. I'm just going for it now because I've had enough, so I'm saying what I really genuinely think now. He was going on about, we are anonymous, we are legion, and all this, we are coming. That was 2014. I thought, you're a bit out of date, aren't you? Do you remember they were going around with the vendetta masks, and it was all over YouTube, and not YouTube, it was all over Twitter and all that, saying that they were coming, they were going to stop the governments, and they were going to do this, they were going to do that. And I was just sitting there chuckling to myself. I thought, these are just little keyboard warriors sitting in the bedrooms thinking that they're big, great gangsters and all this, and that society's, the governments are terrified of them and the elites. Nothing happened, as I said it would. I said, nothing's going to happen. Anyway, he asked that on his one of his main videos, and I thought that sums him up perfectly. Some little, you can tell he's never really done anything. He's just sitting there imagining himself to be a big noise. And when you look at his videos, there's nothing. He's just copied, he's just reposted other people's videos, but he did a live stream with Ronan, and I watched a bit of it, and I thought, God, he's going on, and the both of them are slagging off. Well, he is especially slagging off people doing response videos. When someone gets someone else's video and responds to it, gives their thoughts on it. And Ronan was agreeing with him. And what's Ronan doing now? Response video, response video, response video. See, it's nothing wrong with doing a response video, but don't be such a hypocrite to slag other people off for doing it. So what happened the other day was, again, Mr. Everyone's a snake, everyone's discussing that clickbait's right. And he was going on about Darren G. He did a response video about Darren G. And he was like, oh, how he agrees with everything Darren G says, how Darren G is a wonderful human being, how Darren G is so brave that he phoned up Marvin Herbert, how brave he was, wonderful he was. But Marvin's okay as well, in case he can get an interview with Marvin. Oh, Marvin's okay. He's got to fit that one in. How he works out that Darren's right when he's slagging off and attacking Marvin, yet at the same time, Marvin's a good fella. I mean, if Darren's right, doesn't that mean that Marvin can't be a good fella? You see, he hasn't thought that one through. He hasn't thought that concept through. And then the other day he did one about the enemies of Darren G should support him. Now, these enemies, he's called them, they're people like the Cockrells, Emma Cockrell and Brian Cockrell. And anyone he's attacked, he said, oh, there's that many people he's attacked, I can't even list them. But that's who he's calling the enemies. Excuse me, I can't remember Emma and Brian Cockrell going after Darren G. I can't remember Billy Moore going. Billy Moore won't even lower himself to mention Darren G's name. He's above that. I can't remember all this, but yet they're the enemies. And all that this is set up for is he wants an interview with Darren G. So he's putting his name there, clickbait, and putting the shout up there. And do you know what, people? I hope to God Darren G agrees to do an interview with him. Because what do we all know that will happen? Darren G will turn on him. But the chance of it happening are remote because he's Northern Irish and Darren G has a thing with the Irish. That's why he fell out with James English. I know James is Scottish, but he has this thing about Irish gangsters and all this. So you have to be careful. You have to. Oh, here we are. Is he watching? Yeah, jump on board if you want to. Here we are. I'll put the thing up. Slagging people off, you two-faced hypocrite. If that is him, it might not be him. It might be a copycat, you know. Oh, I'm not going to put it up here, but yeah, I have. I've seen bits of him. He's had his channel pulled. I'm not surprised he's had his channel pulled out. I mean, he does go. I mean, the man's obviously got some serious mental health condition there, but sometimes for their own safety, you best take them off. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now this Darren, Sammy Adams. Darren suffers from psychosis, thinking everyone's out to get him. It's there for all the world to see, delusional, and everyone can see it. Yeah, but is that mental health or is that drug abuse? Is misuse? He's just said, hasn't he? Or Carl McCorner put up a video where Darren's saying that he's been taking too much cocaine. What was I saying from day one? He's on drugs. There's people that were throwing money at him. Congratulations to you. You helped him stay on the drugs. So is this mental health? This is what I was saying the other week. Is it mental health issues with people, or is it drug misuse that's making them act the way they are? Because before you can be properly mentally analysed for a syndrome or condition, you should really be in a situation where you're clean of drugs. Then they can get the basis of what is the real you. It's like if you want to see what someone's like when they're normal and diagnose something, you don't diagnose them when they're drunk. You wait until the alcohol's out the system to see what they are. And that's what happens. Well, this is it. Was Darren G? I took it that Darren G had his channel taken down because he was doing this normal rubbish, threatening people and getting very, very abusive. Like what you want. So, anyways, channel vanished, but people are actually saying that he took it down. Now, if he's took it down, in my mind, what it is that what's happened is if he has taken it down, it's most probably the DWP have got onto. That's what it sounds like to me because he's making a hell of a lot of money, and I'm always surprised. He said, I took it that he said that he'd come off benefits, and so that's why I thought, well, that's what's happened. But there'll be that many people that hate him, they won't give two toffees about going to the benefits agency because he's making a lot of money. He's making, and it's not going on his son, I can tell you, or his partner. It's going on him. But but someone was saying to me, I'm not going to name her because she's a nice woman. I'm not going to name her. She wasn't being bad. She was being, how could I put? She wasn't being a sycophant. She genuinely was trying to be sympathetic towards Darren G. And she was saying to me, he needs support and all this business, blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, you know what? And I hated saying to her, but thought, I will say it, but not wanting to insult her because she could have got insulted. And I thought, I hope she doesn't think that I'm being nasty to her because I'm not. Because let's put this way, people, I'll explain this after I say what I said. I said to her, he'll see you as nothing but a soft touch to be mugged off, someone like you, to get money out of. I said, that's what he'll see you as. I said, thinking that he needs support and he's got mental health issues and all that. So that's going to be his modus operandi to do that. Well, that's what he's like. I mean, he could look like just because someone has mental health issues, people, doesn't mean that they're not a nasty piece of work and a bad person. You can have mental health issues and be a bad person. Take away the mental health issues, you still got a bad person there. It's not always because someone's nasty or does bad things, doesn't mean it's down to mental health or the mental health is doing it. Doesn't always mean that. But for some reason, everyone's put down, every bit of bad behavior is they're mentally ill. Sometimes it is because of mental health issues, but sometimes it's not because of that. So, but again, at the same time, why you didn't want to insult her, because there's nothing wrong with being a nice person. And the person that should be condemned is the one that tries to get one over on someone, because this is what I hate. Oh, I hate this. And used to see this in the police, but you see it, everyone out there, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's happened to all of us. We've seen it. You've seen someone who's tried to get in the confidence of someone else and gain the trust, and it's just to get what they want out of them. And that person feels totally embarrassed then. And that's how you say, no, you don't feel embarrassed. You've done nothing wrong. You've been a genuine, honest human being. It's them to condemn. You're not the fool. And they laugh about it, the one that's done it. Anyone like that, it's like, there's the door, sod off. Don't want to see you again. I don't mess about with them. I hate people that do things like that. Let's see. You see, this is a with mental health issues. If someone has got mental health issues as well, unless they've got a syndrome that, let's say, they can't go get help for themselves. Well, it's up to that individual to go and get the help that they need. And lots of people do. And of course, I know before anyone thinks, oh, wait a minute, there's no help out there. It is difficult to get that help, but you have to try and do it because, look, right, you have people on YouTube at the moment, there's rages going on, isn't it? And one's claiming to have mental health issues, and that's why they're threatening someone else. Let's take two people, the real Danny G, not Darren G, the real Danny G, and Uncle K. Now, the two of them are like warring at the moment. But the two of them have got mental health issues. Danny, the real Danny G, you can tell he's got serious anger management issues, that he needs to get control of. He really needs to get control of, because whether he likes it or not, someone being brought up, a child being brought up, children in that environment, the chances are when they go on into relationships themselves, they're going to go into an abusive relationship like that, verbally abusive, whatever. They're going to go into it. But you've got Uncle K as well, who said he's got mental health issues, and he's making all kinds of threats. But the thing is, that's not an excuse to carry on like that. They have to physically get on their computer to do this. Now, from what I can see, it's Danny, the real Danny G, is being goaded here. And he's got this, and I think Uncle K knows he's got this temper that will flame up. But it's not an excuse to say you've got mental health issues, unless you really don't know what you're doing. Then you can't, or someone doesn't know what they're doing, then they have to be held responsible. They have for their actions. You see, when you think of it, we all have. Who doesn't have some kind, in the modern world where it's hectic and it's a rat race, who doesn't have some kind of mental health issue? Who doesn't have it? It's a stressful thing being in, especially if you live in a city. Don't forget, everything's time now. You see, in the past, that wasn't much easier back then. But yeah, I'm talking way back in the past when everything was rural, and people worked from the homes and things like that. They had their own little businesses before the Industrial Revolution. People worked to their own times, and it's like they didn't have the time plan we have now. You get up. Usually, it's get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever, to get ready if you're going to work, to go to work. Got to go out, got to go to work, get back at 5 o'clock if you're in a 9 to 5. Now that's it. That's your life. And if you're doing shift work, it's even worse because that plays havoc with your bodily clock. But everyone's regimented. Then you go to bed at night. That's the normal plan. Then get up in the morning. Well, in the past, way back, as I'm saying, before the Victorian era and the Industrial Revolution, people used to go to bed. And at about 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, they'd wake up again, have something to eat, do a bit of work, then go back to bed. Unless they were farmers and it was the harvesting time and stuff like that, then they'd be to strict time scales. But now everything's timed. You're controlled by a clock. The clock rules you. So you have to be ready. That's stressful. So I don't know anyone that doesn't have some kind, even if it's very mild, mental health issues, because it's if you want to survive, and if you on, and also people who aren't working get the stress of it. They'll be worrying. It's not. See, this is the thing. You can't get. Years ago, you could get. There were jobs. There were jobs about before the 70s hit, and there was always that to fill your time to have that job. But if you're like, there's no chance of getting a job, and of course now the standards of living have changed as well. As they say, poverty is relative to the age you're living in. So you can get people who now, if they're working for a pittance, which lots of people are working for an absolute pittance, they can't afford what is considered a necessity now. Nowadays, mobile phones considered necessities. So it's the internet. So is the television. And people go, oh, well, you mustn't be all that poor if you've got to tell. Rubbish. Poverty is relative to what's happening around you. And if you can't access the basic things that most people have, you're in poverty. That's the end of it. Oh, hi, Paris. I'm just looking at this. I'm blocking this because this isn't the real. It's not the real blocked, mate. It's not the real Rona. So you're blocked. It wasn't the real Rona. He wasn't backstage. Anyway, how you doing, Paris? You keeping all right? Well, everyone's got this mental health. It's how you deal with things. Every single person's mental health is not in a good place. And of course, there's the thing that's going on, the virus, which we can't actually mention the name of. That's another big problem that's causing people because we're sociable animals. We're not supposed to be restricted. It does things to people. It does, and of course, we haven't got the community now that they always had. So everyone does have it, but sometimes, but you can't say the line I've always drawn is: can the person in some way control themselves? And you can get say someone like the real Danny G when he explodes. Now, I'd imagine he can explode and then he'll suddenly twig, oh my god, this it's inappropriate for the situation I'm in, and calm himself down, or he'd be in prison because he'd be literally attacking anyone that angered him. So he'd most probably control. Now we used to get people like him used to call the police and they'd blow up, but then you'd suddenly see them, oh, I'm sorry, I'm all right, I just couldn't help myself, I'm all right. They'd calm down because they'd realize that the brain would have taken note of the situation they were in. And so they get control of their anger. But then you get people coming in who, and it's rare actually to find someone like this who couldn't control themselves. You could tell they couldn't. Now that could be because of mental health issues, or it could be because of substance abuse, and they really couldn't handle themselves. And that's the worst scenario, because how do you hold someone that can't control themselves to account? You can't do it. You just have to say, oh, let that one go. But people do say, use it too much and say, oh, I've got mental health and that's why I'm doing this. No, if you've got to switch on your phone, you've got to switch on your internet, you've got time to think, is this a good thing I'm doing or a bad thing? Oh, I'm all right, Paris. I say, I've come up with this hump day to sort of make it sound more, it's more or less the same as the other one I do. Mademoiselle Anne's Boudoir. But it's just different name for it. I was going. Hiya, Claire. Oh, thank you for that, sweetheart. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep this now long because people don't jump on. And I end up sitting here for 2 hours thinking of things to say. So I'm going to, if no one jumps on show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start limiting it to 1 hour because it wears me out because my brain's going tick, tick, tick. What am I going to talk about now? The highlights eyebrows. Oh, yeah, that's one. I mean, I thought I'd give that a try. Give it a little try. That means just putting, it's like a little bit of white and glitter on it as well. Let's see any more. Well, look like the Snow Queen. Well, this is it. The thing is, right, it's not, there's no, I'm not surprised that mental health is rife amongst the youth. Where's the future? If they want to go to university, they're going to get in debt and the banks will own them. When I think people used to moan, when I was a teenager, used to moan about getting a grant. You actually used to get paid to go to university. Now, it's a huge debt landed on someone, and they can get the degrees or whatever. Where's the jobs? Where's the jobs? That's it. So, and when you've got young people that can't see a future for themselves, you've got serious problems. You've got serious problems when the young can't see a future for themselves. So it's a horrific situation to be in. I wouldn't like to be young now, I wouldn't. And it's worse than the 70s and the 80s. It's worse now than what it was back then. I don't know, who is he? Give us Amy Lou, give us a quick overview of who this fella is. I haven't heard of him. But yeah, it's see, mental health issues is a difficult one. It is really is a difficult one how to control it because but there's nothing you've got to understand. When someone is being abused, when you can tell they can control themselves and they just decide not to control themselves, as I used to always say, it's up to me to decide whether I tolerate that. I'll decide whether to tolerate it or not. And that's the end of the issue. And I used to say that when I was working in the probation service with drug use and with the police, when I used to know that it was like they were taking liberties because like, oh, I've got mental health issues or whatever. I used to, if I twigged that they were using it to try and be abusive, I'd always say, that's up to me to decide whether to tolerate it. And guess what? I don't want to. So you'll be treated like anyone else. So it was that was my view to it. But now what else to talk about? Anyone got any suggestions? Just looking in the chat here. Here we are. Oh, so this fella you were talking about, how's he getting phones in prison, releasing? Well, they do. They can have the phones in prison now, isn't Sam Walker doing that? Sam Walker's doing little videos from prison. I think they can have them now, can't they? It depends. I suppose it depends what. But as you said, he's in for something serious, isn't he? Odd, maybe it's I don't know. Things change. This is it. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just seen something about. Let's see. Where did it say? Oh, I see now. Derek. Hi, Anne. You got a great chat room. Over time, I believe that nature people get rid of bad ideas and evolve to good ideas. Do you agree with that? Over centuries, life is special in many ways. It's better in some ways, but in some ways it isn't as well. I mean, it's got to the point now where people don't know it. But thinking back pre-internet days, things are starting to get pretty strange now. Pretty strange, especially for the young, because they all want, but not just the young adults doing now. They all want to be famous in this business and all that. I think it's more stressful now than it ever has been. And of course, now with again substance abuse, you couldn't get them years ago, or what you did get was very mild compared to what it is now. But now it's turning people. Everything's changed now. See, it's no rules anymore. Oh, there's no expectations in society, which we used to have years ago, which we know is the ideal, but it's also kept things under control and stopped them going out there. Paul O'Grady. He's all right. I've never actually met him. Strange enough. See, some social media's okay. I mean, I like YouTube. I like Twitter. Sometimes they can get a bit nasty and you think, oh, this is going ridiculous. But they're going to have to. And this is what's going to happen. They're going to have to start making it that it's going to be controlled, and they're starting it now. You can see the start. Well, the governments are starting to say, right, you start getting a control on this, and the first thing that's going to go. And I'm sorry, but the people that have caused this to happen are the people that abuse it. Our anon accounts are going to start. They're going to say, what I think will happen, they'll say you can be anonymous, but you've got to keep your real details over to sign up. For one good reason, if people start abusing the system, then they can be held accountable legally. It's nothing to do with freedom of speech. Nothing to do. It's to stop people abusing and committing crimes, because people forget, right? Cyberbullying is actually a crime. It is a crime. You can't do it. So it's just to start that happening. So you could have an anon account, but once you start doing something wrong, they could go for you. Well, the tunnel's going to be. They were always digging, weren't they? But it doesn't mean there's anything since, in it, Derek. We've got loads. We had the thing, wasn't it? The Bootle Mole here. I can't remember his name. Wasn't it the Bootle Mole near where I am? And he was forever. But he was to keep the unemployed in work. He got them to dig tunnels. Quite a feature now, all these tunnels. But yeah, so it's interesting. I'm thinking what else to talk about. But it looked like that was a fake Holden in the chat before, because he said, I'm behind. I mean, he was waiting to come on. He wasn't. So he ousted himself. Oh, he had the Jambussy Mines. I think you said that, didn't he? Ken Dodd. Do you know what? You see Ken Dodd. You'd see him downtown, and you could walk right past him. You'd just see this dishevelled old man walking by. Unless you knew who he was, you wouldn't know. Tice, though. God, he was stingy. I did. I've got my lamp here, but as I said, when I switch it on, I tried it, and it looked rubbish on this camera, so I'll have to film it on something else. This is the part of it. This is the fluoride part of it without its light in it. but you can't see it unless I light it up. And when I tried lighting it up, it looked absolutely awful. It did. But you light it up, it looks stunning. But it just looked awful on here. Oh, Cody, what's up to God knows what? He's gone missing, hasn't he? Where we are, someone. Oh, where we are, Paris. Oh, let me get my headphones on. I don't know. Hi, yeah, Paris, sweetheart.
How you doing? I just realised I'm on my wrong profile. You haven't got my beautiful picture up there.
You'll have to get it up sooner or later. You will. So thanks for jumping on, because no one ever seems to see that fella last week. He jumped on for about a second, then ran away.
Yeah. I only come on to see what that throw over looks like behind me.
Oh God. Oh,
it looks all right.
But how are you doing anyway in yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been out today. It helps when you go out and get a bit of decent fresh air.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. I went to the electrolysis today. That's why I haven't got my picture up there, because my face is all lumpy and stuff.
Oh, it hurts as well, doesn't it? Getting that done.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an hour at the time, and it is painful.
Yeah, it does hurt that. So I've heard it, people saying about it. Said, oh God, it absolutely kills when it's done. But
and do you know what the funny thing about it is, right? When I'm laying there and they're doing their thing on my face, they have the most depressing podcast in the background. And today they was talking about World War One, and like some of the young girls that was working in the factories, like they was only 16 years old, and they was handling TNT, and they go home and their eyes are yellow, and they actually get poisoned.
Oh yeah, there was
people are saying, do you think it was worse in them days than now? Like, I mean, you've got health and safety now, but in them days, you could work in a factory and the whole factory could blow up.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I mean, it was terrible. It's like another thing that used to happen in factories. The Second World War as well, the munition factories. I used to know an old lady that it happened to, and the hair would get caught in the machinery and literally scalp them. She used to have to wear a wig all the time, scalp the hair off. And so the danger, because then the hair was all, the style was all up what they were told.
Wavy and stuff. Yeah.
So it would get caught.
It was much better in them days, hair. Seemed a lot healthier for some unknown reason.
Well, they took what it is. This is it. We fuss now, don't we? We get all kinds of expensive things. I tell you now, all that they used to use, according to what my mama told me, they said they'd use Lifebuoy soap. And if anyone remembers Lifebuoy soap, it used to oh, Chloe, thank you for that. Oh, look at that. I've got a donation. How lovely. I've never had a donation before, Paris. Thank you for that, sweetheart. Chloe, thank you for that. But Lifebuoy soap. Do you ever remember that, Paris, that smell, the red soap? And it always had that distinctive smell. I remember that.
Was it red or orange?
Red, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Because I bought a bar of soap the other week. I was out with a friend of mine, one of my neighbours, and she goes, "Oh, I've got to get this soap. I love this soap." And I got it, and I smelt it, and I thought, "Oh, I remember that when I was a kid." And I actually got a bar myself, but I think it was orange.
Now,
I can't remember what it was called though.
Well, anyone that can remember Lifebuoy soap used to be They used to use it on the clothes. Yeah, they'd use it on the clothes as well to get rid of stains before they wash them. So you were washing yourself in that. And you know what? Your skin would be lovely. But she used to say, remember you said that, yeah, she'd be using it on her hair. And yet they always, where now we fuss, they didn't use hair conditioner or anything.
No.
But I remember someone said what it was, they didn't wash the hair as much as we do now. They certainly didn't do it every day. They'd wash it like once a week at most, or once every 2 weeks.
It's got its own natural oils, hasn't it?
Yeah. So that would keep it healthy. But we fuss and fuss and fuss now. And it's like, half the time, it's not worth fussing about anything like that.
I think I'm going back into the olden days because I live on a boat. It's a lot. It's so convenient, living in a house and you don't realise, like, the
Yeah.
tap water and everything you've got is so convenient. Your gas, your electric. We moan about paying the bills, but you got to realise how easy you get it into your houses.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
If
was
you,
saying to you last time, wasn't I? I don't know. It'd be all right for a little while on a boat, but then it must really get strained. Because as you
yeah,
say, you've got to get your gas, you've got to get everything brought in.
yeah.
And do you remember that flood you had last year with
Oh,
the river?
don't,
That was
yeah.
horrific. That, and not only that, it's not only the problem that you've got the flood. When it goes, you've got the mud then to contend with.
Yeah, that's the worst bit, the mud. Yeah, because you know you
Yeah,
can't go out in the flood, but when that drops, you know you've got to go out and get water and diesel and food and everything. And
yeah,
everyone uses the same track, and it actually gets diabolical. But
yeah.
we've actually had it not too bad this year. It's been manageable, but last year and the year before was really bad. But
Oh,
but now I know the summer's coming. It does feel a lot better here, even
well,
though we're still
that's.
having poo weather.
I'll have to come down and fish you during the summer, I will, because it'd be lovely on a
Yeah.
boat during the summer. It would be. So,
100%. You can always stay in my camper because I've got a lovely camper.
and I'll bring me rug with me, me lovely
Yeah, you
rug.
probably won't leave with it, but you can bring it with you.
you,
Fell
you're
in
right.
love with my footy.
You do get used to living in a house. That's it. It's like even if I go to a bungalow, because I've always been used to stairs. It seems very strange. You know, if I go to a bungalow, saying, "Oh, there's no stairs in the house. Why is
Yeah,
there no
yeah.
stairs?"
But you
But
find bungalows are a lot bigger though, aren't they? Like on the ground floor, it's just so much more space.
well, and also if you need to store everything, you don't need a special, like a vehicle to store all your stuff in. You can just like you can stick it in the spare room if you've got one. But
Well,
that's
bungalows have got massive lofts as well.
yeah. Well, the strange ones, and they've got a cheek calling them bungalows. The ones with the what they called? Oh, they've got a special name, and they actually do have a bedroom in the loft. And it's like, well, wait a minute, that's not a bungalow to me. It's got stairs. It's not a bungalow as far as I'm concerned. It's
Yeah,
it's pretending to be a bungalow, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Me, Mama was brought up in a bungalow. They were all bungalows, but I could never get used to it. I used to be like, oh, why isn't there? It seemed everything was too
I think
close together.
I think the older you get, the more appealing they are.
Yeah, yeah,
It's better than having
definitely.
a staircase.
Oh God, sometimes, yeah, because especially if you're injure yourself, it's like how the hell do I get upstairs? And I've
Yeah,
often thought that. I thought, how the hell am I going to manage? And the bed I've got, which I got years ago, and it's one of these double one, but it's an electronic one. It moves. Again, another bargain I got, and I couldn't resist, so I thought I'll have to get that. Parasite weighs a ton. It
but
weighs a
it
ton
does.
because it's got this big, huge motor on the bottom of it. And I thought, if I ever had, say that I thought, oh, I'll have to make my bedroom downstairs and turn the upstairs into the living room because it'll be easier for me. Tell you now, how the hell I'd ever get that downstairs again? I don't even know how the hell I got it up the stairs. I remember I had help, but it was a monster of a thing. And I wouldn't mind to hardly use it. This is the thing. It's a little toy that you use. Oh, look, get your back will come up. You put your legs up. Then you just get into the routine. You think, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. And you can't be bothered playing with it. So it's like,
Yeah.
you think, why did I get that in the first place?
Do you know what? One of the most comfortablest beds I ever slept in was, like the ones where it used to have the base, but the base was the springs, and then you had the mattress on the base.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I, I,
yeah,
I mean, I remember I had one of them as a kid, and you just sank in it.
yeah.
The beds these days, I don't like them, and the mattresses, just the mattress on its own weighs a ton. If you pay a few bob for a mattress,
Well, I got one a few years ago. I remember when, the memory foam ones first came out. I
yeah,
got one. And I didn't like it because in the summer it was horrendous. It was hot. And I thought, I
yeah,
can't stand this. Anyway, and then Bonzo, who I used to let get up on the bed if I was doing work or something, I went out that house one day, forgot he was still on the bed, came back, and he'd done that, hadn't he? Ripped it to
oh
bits
no,
in one part, so I was fuming. So I thought, I'm never getting one of them anymore. So I got a normal mattress. Then I saw another one advertised years later. and it has all springs in it, but it has this temperature control piece at the top of it. But that's these special springs as well. Well, that one I got, God, that's much better. Because what does it doesn't get hot in the summer. It stays at a single temp, and they're much better now. Because I say they've got the special springs in them now. They've got about 5 parts now, the good ones. So I like them now. I do like them now. But I remember the old spring ones. My God, the old
Yeah.
days, the old spring ones.
As long as you
So,
wasn't doing anything in them, they was great because they
oh,
could be quite noisy.
oh yeah, the squeaky ones. It was squeaky, it was. But oh yeah, I remember that the noise, and you'd move over. Oh God! And if anyone was in the because say that you had anyone in the and I'm not saying now I had anyone in the bed doing anything, other than sleeping, darlings. Let me just say, I'm a
Yeah, let's get that
virgin.
straight.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm a virgin and intend to stay that way, darlings. I'm saving myself. Right, God bleed now. No choice but to save myself. But anyway, if anyone would have to sleep in the bed with you, you'd move and they'd roll. They'd just be like, no, can't be bothered with it.
Have you ever had a waterbed?
No, and I don't fancy the look of them.
I,
And I
I,
believe
I
they're
had
a
one
nightmare.
once. I had one once. They're really hard to get used to. And one day it
Yeah.
actually sprung a leak. And when it sprung a leak, because you're laying on it and you've got an indent, the leak was at the top in the corner, and all the water just come to the middle of the bed. Oh, it was awful.
Oh,
But
I can
it
imagine.
was all right once you got used to it. But I don't know, because they
I,
heat up and everything, don't they? You have to spend money to warm them up.
I believe they're horrifically heavy, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Well,
Seriously heavy.
when they're empty, they're not. But like
Yeah.
when you've put water in them, they're not movable. They
Yeah,
take quite a
because
while to fill up as well.
I remember I saw one because they came back into fashion, didn't they, recently? Wall beds, but they're completely different now. Apparently, different make the way they do them. But they were saying you have to get reinforced bleeding floors or something now. They're that heavy. Or you have to make sure your floor can withstand it, or they'll just go right through the floor. But there was something about them. I never liked the idea. There's no
No,
undulating and all that. I thought, oh no, can't
yeah.
be bothered with that.
They're comfortable till you move,
Yeah, and then you hear that slush. But in the
and then
70s, they were
it's
the
like being on a boat.
yeah. Oh, good no. But yet that they were in the 70s. They were a big iconic thing, weren't they? Water beds,
Yeah, I think
and you
I had
had
mine
to.
about 25 years ago.
Yeah,
So it was reasonably modern, but it wasn't, because I was
yeah.
actually quite surprised that the actual material that held the water wore away in one of the corners.
Oh
God
God,
knows
I can
why,
imagine.
because no
Yeah,
one sleeps near the corner.
yeah. But just did. It's like thing, isn't it? Water beds are like 3D films. They come into fashion, then go out of fashion, don't they?
Mm.
Very quick. They never stay in fashion.
The,
And do you
the only
remember?
good thing I would say about a waterbed is when you actually get rid of that mattress, you've got one solid base to put a proper mattress on.
Yeah.
That base is not going anywhere.
Well, this one I've got, that's just got the slats. The mattress just goes on top of the slats because the bed has to move, so it can't have
Yeah,
anything in between the mattress. But yet, but again, it's whatever. Some people, and I warn people about this if you're thinking of getting a memory foam mattress. Some people know when they say, "Oh, it helps with back problems and stuff." Not all people it doesn't. Some people can actually give back problems too. You
yeah,
have
and
to
they're
really have it.
overpriced.
This one I got, I mean, it should have been how much is it should have been? Oh God, I got a few years ago. Now, when did I get it? About 7 years ago. It should have been, I think it was one 1,400, but I got it for 500. So that was a
Wow.
bit of a bargain. But it should. Oh, it's one of the ones where they've got everything in it. But it was worth it in the way that a normal. I say I tried the normal type of
Is it one of
memory
them with a
format.
telly in it?
Oh, I wish it did.
Do you
No, it's
remember the
just.
ones that come out when the telly come out the end of the bed?
Oh yeah, I couldn't be bothered with that. I couldn't be
No.
bothered.
The thing with that is you have to sit up in bed to watch the telly, though, don't you? Which
Well, you
I
see,
like
with
to lay down and watch the telly if I'm going to watch the telly in bed.
when you see Paris with my bed that moves up, I could sit up in it if I wanted to. Oh, you
Oh,
see how posh that is? I could just sit up
eh?
there with my tray of tea and, in the morning and all that. Oh, oh, I like to spoil myself. I do. I say, God, no one else will spoil me, so I'll go and spoil myself. But the thing is, with television, did it, you don't think, oh, well, you won't know this. Me bleeding television like Christmas. I had no television for Christmas. Me television went, just wouldn't get a picture on it, nothing. And you know what's like, you think, what's the point of getting it repaired? Because it will cost you as much to get it repaired as it will to get a bleeding new one.
Yeah,
So it was a double-edged sword because it came out in my favour because the sales were on when I decided to get one. So I got a new one and it's much, much bigger. It's 65 inches, this one that I've got. But my God, the pictures on it is remarkable. And yet
yeah,
it was only a little bit more than the other one cost me when I first got it. And I thought,
yeah.
oh God, that was, but because it was in the sale, I thought, wow, got myself a bargain there. So that was a
You
good
know
thing.
what? I haven't watched the telly for years.
I never watched the terrestrial television. I usually go on, Netflix or YouTube or
Yeah,
something like
yeah, that's
that
what I watch Netflix.
because that free television is a load of rubbish. What do people think about free television in the
Well, it's
chat?
like
It's
you get
awful.
it's like you get 200 channels and you could sit there all night looking for something to watch, and then you can't be asked by the time you found something.
Yeah. Do you
And then
know
you've got to
this?
get it in the right language.
Yeah. Oh, God. But if you ever notice, say, right, this is another big change in us, isn't it? You had to, before the internet, watch something all the way through at a certain time, unless you
Yeah.
recorded it. But you had to watch it all the way through. Now, I don't know whether you do the same, and I hate myself for doing it. I watch something and I think, oh, I'll watch the rest of it later on. And to me, somehow that spoils it, but I still do it. I think, oh, I'll just take a break. You couldn't take a break, could you, age ago? You had to watch all the way through or miss it.
Well, I mean, I watch Netflix a lot on my laptop, and I have to charge my laptop up, and it always seems to be the same thing. Whenever I get to the really good part, the battery goes flat on my laptop because I'll
Yeah,
get like 2.5 hours on my laptop, and then it cuts out, or I
it's a
have to put
pain.
the engine on, and I can't put the engine on after 10 o'clock at night, which is quite annoying. But there's a few series that I've watched on Netflix which I do like. I've been watching that Flint Town, which I found quite interesting, where they had
Mm,
their water poisoned, lead poisoning, and it was all about the police really, and it was
yeah,
amazing what the police was going through. But you saw both sides. You saw the community side, and you saw the police's side, because the police was doing the best they could,
yeah,
but the community was trusting the police, but the police weren't getting the money, so they could only answer so many calls,
yeah,
and mainly the important ones. And it was so sad, because people need to watch things like that, because then you see both sides
yeah,
rather than your side and your view and why they haven't turned up. And it is quite sad that I've only just finished watching it, Flint Town, and
I'll have
and
to
it
look
is
at
really
that.
sad.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. I say some really
It's in
good ones on.
America.
Yeah, I mean, Derek has said here, telly now is nowhere as good for me. I like the 70s and 80s TV. Well, some of it was all right, but I was saying, I think it was last week, wasn't it? Some of the vast majority of television in my mind, so I remember, especially the 70s, was dreary. It was absolutely bored. You get the odd little gem, but the rest of it was just, oh, I can remember just being totally bored. They say, about kids going out playing in the 70s and all that. You could go out and play. You had no choice but to go out and play. You were bored stiff if you didn't go out and play. Where now, yeah, you do get a lot of rubbish now, but as you've just said, I think you'll always find something now that will interest you. That's the wonderful thing about it. You can always go and find something that will interest you. You didn't have that option. You just had to take what you got years ago. And
Well, when you used to watch the telly years ago, you used to have to go out and buy a newspaper, read the newspaper to see what was on and see
yeah,
what it was all about. Whereas now, with Netflix, you get a reading to tell you what it's all about, and you think, oh no, I don't want to watch that, and you move on to something else.
yeah. I was going to ask you something, just put something in my mind because no one ever knows when I ask me. So very few people do. Do you ever remember HR Puff and stuff, Paris?
Yeah, yeah,
Witchy poo and all that. I
yeah,
ask
yeah,
people that and I say, do you remember HR Puff and stuff? And they go, oh, no, what was that? And I say, it was from America. And I remember, oh God, you know, when you're a kid and you like getting to boast about. I met, because it was in America when that was, and I was very young, about 4. I was visiting America with my papa. And I got to see Billy Hayes, who was Witchy Poo, and Jack
what years
Wild.
was that on? Because you're going back a long time now.
Yeah. Well, I was 4, so you're talking about it was getting on for 19. It was 1969 going on to 1970, the television one.
Yeah,
So I was saying, Mehe, and the weirdest thing, I said this the other week, for some strange reason, whenever I had to go, well, not every time, but when I'd ever have reason when I was working or whatever to go over to America, so the amount of times I bumped into Billy Hayes, who was Witchy Poo, was weird. And I'd suddenly
yeah,
think about her, and you know what? She never forgot me. And I just think the first time she saw me was a 4-year-old kid. Then she saw me when I was about 12. And when I'd say, oh, I remember you, you know, visiting the studio and all this. And it was just
oh,
absolutely amazing. But no one
yeah.
ever seems to remember HR Puff and stuff now.
Because that had a song to it, didn't it? I don't remember the words, but it was "Hey, Char,
Yeah.
puffing stuff, la 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 da 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 da."
If I
I
remember
remember
it,
it.
it was HR Puff and stuff. Who's your friend when things get rough?
That's it.
HR, puff and stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't do a little bit, can't do enough. Yeah, I remember that. It was great. And the buoyants
yeah.
at the end of the group. It used to be great, that. And the film, if you see the film, if you put it on now, it's just as good as it was back then.
Yeah, or Hector House. I used to watch Hector House.
Oh,
Grumpy
I
old
didn't
man
like
looks
that.
over the fence.
I didn't. Do you know what? That as a kid used to freak me out. I didn't like the
Yeah,
puppets. And didn't they
yeah,
talk a lot? They never
yeah,
shut up,
yeah,
did they? But there was
yeah.
one in it. What was the one that used to freak me out? The frog. Oh, I didn't like the frog. But one that used to seriously scare me as a toddler. I hated it. Fireball XL5. And they used to
What?
have this like teddy bear in it. They looked like a really weird looking teddy bear called the Loon, and it would go, "Welcome home" all the time. And that used to terrify the living God out of me. I hated it. And I've seen it on YouTube when you put in Fireball XL5, the Loon, and oh, the Zuni, not the Loon, the Zuni. Oh, terrified. And I can still remember what made me terrified of it because it was on the television and it was in black and white. And I remember being a little toddler and I was sitting there at the couch. And it was this Zuni thing, this Teddy thing, which was an alien, was between these two puppet characters. They were all puppets. But I knew that the puppets were supposed to be adults in my mind. So that was like Mama and Papa, they were big. And this loon's head was as big as those two put together, or Zuni, I should say. I don't know why I'm calling it the loon, the Zuni. Its head was as big as them. And all that I imagined then was this huge, monstrous, bleeding teddy bear with this weird movement. Oh, it freaked me right out. It did. Hated it.
We
But
was talking about black and white films the other day, weren't we? And I was saying about
yeah,
like I used to watch Frankenstein, The
yeah.
Mummy, Werewolf, Dracula, and when I think how far back that was back that was, I was thinking I'm surprised my parents used to let me watch that. To be honest with you, but
Uh,
who was it who just said something here? Who was it? Someone just made a comment. Oh, Chloe said about she has nightmares with heart attack. Do you know what?
yeah.
I actually find at the moment I have nightmares watching some of these people's streams. It's like I'll have a nightmare, and because I've watched the stream, certain streams of people that are on the internet, I actually have nightmares with them people in it. And I find that really weird because they're not scary, they're just over statistical dickheads. And it plays on your mind. And then when you go to sleep, you end up with these people in your nightmares.
I've never got that far with it, but sometimes you look and you think, oh my God, I think what we used to always have the myth, or I did. See if you agree with me on this, Paris, because I've often said this. Before the internet and social media, you could hold on to the myth that the majority of humanity was good and kind, and it was only a few rare people were, bad or nasty. Now, when you look at the internet and YouTube, you think, oh my God, it's it's scary just how warped some people can be and how prevalent it is to be warped. That's what scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I thought you can't hold on to this image you had years ago because we didn't know what the rest of the world was like because we didn't, unless you went out there and met everyone you didn't know. But now you can see the world that comes into your living room now.
Yeah, I can't believe how bad people are. I mean, I come on YouTube about 5 years ago, and I've always it's like the way life is. It's like you meet people, you like them, you meet them again, you don't like them, you just go your separate ways. But
Yeah,
on here, it's like they're always there.
yeah.
It's like they're
Well,
always there, and I can't believe how many horrible, lying, mental disorientated people there are out there, whether they're all on YouTube or whether that's life and I've never seen it
yeah,
before. Because this is why I got pulled into these satanic tunnel people and believed it for a while. And then when you realize that people are lying to you, that's terrible, because even when you call them out, the first thing they go for is your gender.
yeah,
It's like I might
yeah,
call them a
yeah,
horrible, nasty donkey that just listens and copies what other people say, but they just come for your gender, and that's all they've got. And when you
yeah.
keep getting people like that, it does drain you.
Well,
And
what
you
you
think,
do,
why are they so nasty like that? There's laws against it, but it doesn't seem to bother people.
because my general view is it doesn't bother the police much either. That's why they keep on doing it. But um, my general view, my approach is, if someone wants to have a go at me, which they do, I mean, I can be controversial sometimes in some people's minds. They can have a go at me, and as long as they keep it to just tell me what a hole they think I am, or I'm talking through my backside or whatever, fine. But once they try to put in a funny quip, and I don't care how mild it is, as long as I know that they're starting to pick on the fact that I'm in sex, I block them. And there's no coming back. They get blocked. There's no second chance. They're off. I mean, if I didn't block the people over the years that I've been on here, I'd have my comments would be full of them. Horrible people. But you'll see people having a go at me, but the reason they can have a go at me, and you'll see it, is because they're having a go at me without referring to that. And people who do that, and I've always said this, Paris, right? People who can have a go at you without getting personal about looks or disabilities or anything, whatever, are people who are intelligent. And even though it might annoy you, uh, do you agree with this? Even though they might annoy you, if they don't go into personal levels like that, you can just say, well, this person has got the right to have those thoughts. But when they get very personal and rude, as you say, but I just block them. That's it. I don't even go into a conversation with them. It's one. What was the last one that happened? Doesn't happen so much now, thankfully, because I think people know if they come on and start doing that, they will get blocked. But there was one came on. What did he say about Darren G? Said something about Darren G, and then I had to. I was going quite well. Then had to put the thing in into the quote. You freak. Blocked right away. I didn't even answer them. Now they're gone now. They'll try to put another comment on. They won't, because they'll know you've stepped the line, and I won't let anyone and stuff this freedom of speech thing. The people, my freedom of speech. Yeah, you have freedom of speech. You don't have on my channel the freedom to come out with bigotry or
Mm.
insults like that. But yeah, it goes again, because sometimes I've had people, Paris, right, who I've really had a good conversation with. We've been at loggerheads with each other. They've had a real go at me, but yet they slip up then and say something really nasty, and that's it, blocked. And then they're wondering why am I blocked?
But the trouble with that is when they keep doing it to you, and you become immune to it. I mean, I've been in groups before where I just go in there to have a laugh, and then
Yeah.
there'll always be someone in there that you have a disagreement with, and
Mm.
then strangely enough, it always seems to me to be the one that has the group, because they're normally the ones that I'm attracted to, and then I get to know the others in the group, and then you like some and you don't like some.
Yeah.
But when when the main person in the group goes against you, I just find it strange that everyone else in the group is like a sheep and they follow them and they
Exactly.
copy them.
Mm.
And it's like I get
You still there,
caught in
Paris?
a flock and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But what they don't realise, the more they do that to me, the more it doesn't mean anything to me. It just shows me how intelligent they are.
Well, this going on, taking up the group, or what would you call it? The cult. Let's say the old clan. That's it. The clique, the clan. What you
Yeah.
just said is very important. What you want to pick up on, because I think it's vitally important. I've said this before. Is that when the alpha male, or what do you call an alpha female? It's not alpha, is it? But
A
it's a term for
bitch,
a female.
a bitch.
But I don't think it's that much something like. But anyway, you'll get one person will be the leader, and I should say choose the one that runs the show, and then they all start jumping on it. That happened to me. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but actually, I used to get on with a lot of them, right? And they used to be on my Facebook, and they come on YouTube and all this. The minute I fell out with the person that ran the show and it got nasty, right? That was it. They all showed the true characters.
Yeah, they
They
just haven't
all
got a
showed
brain
the
of
true
their
characters.
own. They haven't
But
got a brain of their own. If you could find the
yeah,
formula where you could just get everyone to follow a certain amount of words that you said, you could earn a mint. I mean, the
yeah,
government are very good at it. The
yeah.
system's very good at it, but we're not. It's like the first group I ever went in. I mean, I went into a few little groups, and it ended up with me being in Andy Devine's group. I don't mind mentioning this because he's a prick, and he always will be.
See,
And
I don't know who
when,
he is really.
yeah, well, you don't want to. And I followed him for a couple of years, and then I started to see flaws in the group. So I called the group out, and it was all these little soldiers that come after me that just disgusted me. And one of them was a girl, and because she come after me and I didn't back down, I went after her, and I ended up in court because they put the complaint in, which is the
First.
most important part. I had
Mm.
to defend myself. I magistrates court, then I went to Crown Court, and then in the end, because of the COVID, I ended up in Crown Court on a Zoom meeting, which I found quite good because I was sitting here in my pajamas smoking a joint. Don't do it at the moment. And I found that quite hilarious. But the person that done all this to me, I mean, I give as good as I get, but the person that done all this to me didn't show up in court, and they didn't come up with any evidence. And the only thing that they went to the police with was 4 minutes out of over 20 hours of my
You keep on
interview.
cutting out, Paris.
The hell can you to answer?
Paris, you're cutting out
My
all the time.
mouth's not moving, and that person has put another film with that picture, and it all got chucked out of court. But I wasted all my money, and I was on universal credit at the time, and it was hard because I've got a cat and a dog I have to get looked after, and this scumbag that done all this hadn't turned up at court once, and it really did
Yeah.
annoy me. And that was
Well,
my first experience on YouTube.
I know what you're talking about, but we won't go into it because it's not here, to give version of what was going on
You
either.
wouldn't want her here, Anne, to be honest with
I
her. You
know, but you
wouldn't
know
want
what I'm
her. I
saying,
mean,
Pat?
to be honest with you, I've made my peace with her, but I
Yeah,
don't like her, and I won't. I've said hello to her, and that was it. Hi, Wasp. I've said hello to her, and that in the past, but I won't have
yeah.
nothing to do with her anymore
Well,
because
that's
she is
no, wait a minute,
convincing.
Paris. I'm going to stop you there, right? Because I don't
On,
like it when it goes into she's not here. I'm sorry.
yeah,
It's your truth that you're telling us. I don't
yeah,
know, and people don't know, and I wouldn't like it to happen to me either. And I just think it's not the platform to be going into it into that depth because it's just bitching her hair. And
yeah,
unless she appears and says, "Here we are," I'll give my view of it. Then it'd be okay. But it's just I don't know whether anyone else. I just don't feel comfortable with it. That way because
yeah. Well,
it's one person's version of what's going on. And not being audible to you saying that it's not two sides of it. We don't know the full story of it.
I
That's
can,
where.
I can always get her to come on and talk to you, Anne, if you want.
Well, I mean,
But you
I've
would make
heard
your
about
mind
it.
up in 2 minutes, honestly.
I've definitely heard about it. Let some of the comments. Anyway, what's this one? Because I was bad. Oh, wait about Jack's. This is it. Jack's. Everyone was starting. It used to be funny, didn't it, Jax? Because Jax has always come to my defense. Now I don't know who Jax is. It could be male, female. I don't know, or not specific, but always came to my defense all the time when anyone started on me in the comments and starts getting accused of being me. And it used to be fascinating because I'd be reading it and be like, oh, yes, Anne, we can tell it's you, Anne. And I used to be wetting myself reading it. I think, oh, God, they're really convinced that that's
How
me.
many
They don't.
people on YouTube have been accused of being someone else as well?
I know, you get it all the time, don't
It's
you?
unbelievable how many people go, "You're so and so, and you're so and so," and they get it so wrong.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
they do.
I've left so many groups because all I want to do is get on and have fun in the group, but it always goes wonky because it's not like real life where you can go to a party, walk through the crowd, talk to someone, have an interesting conversation, and move on. It's not
Well,
like that on here at all. It's all, oh, you offended me with what you said then. I want to come round and cut your nuts off and stuff like that.
oh, I
You
know, it
don't
gets
get that in
stupid.
real life.
It does because it's on the internet. That's why they can do it. But
Because I think this is where a lot of mental people hang out. That's why I was thinking of leaving.
it's one you just have to blank it out, Paris. That's all you have to do. You have to blank
Yeah,
it
but
out
it,
and
it
just get rid of them.
takes time to learn that because it's like I said to you before. I come on here believing everyone told the truth. And it's only when
No.
I was in Andy Devine's group that I realised how bad the internet
Mm,
was.
yeah.
And I literally used to go round in groups and hide from people because they was relentless, because that's what they do. That's
Oh
their
yeah.
thing. That
It's
is
like
their
you get
thing.
people. They're saying people right, and actually, I can't work out how they do this. I just can't work it out. And I noticed this with someone the other day. She's on. She keeps on going on, and I won't mention the fella saying podcast, but she acts as a moderator for this other fella. And the other day, it was like that. No way you click through lives, just have a little look for a few seconds, then you click on another one, see if anything's interesting going on. And I could see one would end, then she'd be on that. Then I thought, you kidding me? She's going 24/7 on these lives. I thought she can't have any life off the internet. Now that's very, very, very unhealthy in my mind when it's 24/7 like that. It's very unhealthy because she can't be having well, let's see what's this.
I don't
Paris,
know
if you
what Red
think,
Rooms is. What is Red Rooms? I don't know what
oh,
it is.
red,
I wouldn't go on anything that was worse than YouTube because I think YouTube's bad enough. I've actually left so many groups now that I'm literally in about 2 groups. But what I
yeah,
will say to a lot of you people out there, when you do leave groups, make sure you unsubscribe.
oh yeah. If you don't
Yeah,
want to
I,
get
I do
dragged
know
into it,
that was, but there's a couple of people that I don't like in your group. I mean, I liked that I like that live last night, what Danny done with Hoof on it. But even when I made some okay comments about Hoof, he's so far up his own arse that he refuses to just let old dogs lie. So I'm not. I don't like being in your group because there are a couple of people in there that I can't stand, and I would rather stay away from the group than listen to their shit. Especially when you got people like Seven threatening to rip my balls off and stick him in my mouth just because I call him a creepy donkey. A creepy donkey is a lot different to abusing someone's gender. He's a failure in life. But I'm sorry, but I do like you, Wasp, but I just don't like your group. Too many people in there that piss me off. Sorry about that.
Well, that's your thoughts on that anyway. That's
Yeah.
put it straight. But
Well, it's nice of him to come in here to make comments anyway, because I do like Wasp
yeah,
in some respects. I mean, he does do stuff where he sort of has to divert to get his goal, but when you don't know what they're doing and you're part of a group, you feel like you've been a bit betrayed. But I understand that, and I can't
yeah,
be part of that unless I'm in that tight circle and I
yeah,
understand everything what's going on. I can't be part of that because I'm not going to be there just to make the numbers up. I need to be part of that and know what's going on.
yeah. So what I'm going to do, Paris, now is I'm going to start answering some of the questions, right? Because people are
Yeah,
asking
go on. Yeah,
questions
because a
here.
lot of people have said stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm being a bit
Oh no, you've got
catty.
your. At least you come on because I would have been gone after an hour. That's what I was thinking. I thought if someone doesn't come on, I'll have to go within an hour. So thank you for coming on. I appreciate that. But I'm
No,
asking you, and what's your honest opinion of the Wilfred Wrong case? Well, the honest opinion is the right thing happened. He's where he needs to be. You can't go round kidnapping children. You can't. If you think that they're victims of some kind of abuse or whatever, you have to get onto the authorities to do it because we were talking about people with mental health illness, delusion, being totally deluded is also a mental health issue. But what really annoys me, this about what happened there, is that when people turn around and say, "Oh, it was a rescue mission," there's no evidence to prove that what was said was factual, and that's why you need the authorities to do it. And just imagine that it's your child that someone decides is in danger and decide to kidnap them. What would you feel like? People can't go around doing it, but Wong is an idiot because there he was, he's waited all this while to get, noticed. I've said before it was Sean Atwood, who still is, in my mind, a big supporter of Wong, to get on there, get the platform he needed to get known. So he spent all that time being ignored. He gets it, then he goes and messes it up. So it's like it was obvious. But look, people want to talk about Satanists and stuff. That's up to them. But they can't go taking the Lord into their own hands. And when they do start doing that, and I think a few more are going to end up going to have to be brought to justice because it's getting absolutely ridiculous. Because they don't. And when you look at it, this is Paris. I know you've discussed this in the past. I've heard you discussing it. When you look at it, right, there's no evidence they come up with. You wouldn't mind if they could show the evidence of it, but they don't. And that's
yeah.
where you think they want to believe this. What would you rather have, right? If you had two scenarios, right, that there was children, be horrendous things being done to these children, absolutely horrendous things being done to them. You're getting told that. Then you're getting told, actually, it isn't happening. It doesn't happen at all. It's all fake. Which one would you rather want to be the true version of us?
Well, people on YouTube have learned that controversy is content which gets
No,
subscribers.
but I mean, which one would you want to be the true version, that it was happening or it wasn't happening?
Well, I'd rather it wasn't happening.
Exactly, which is my point. But these people want it to be true. Now, to me,
Yeah.
there's something sick in your head when there's no evidence to show it's happening and you are absolutely drooling wanting it to happen. There's something wrong with them. There's
Yeah.
something seriously wrong with someone who, even
They
though they're not
almost
showing any
get
evidence,
off on it. They
yeah, they
actually get
do.
off on it
They do.
because as they go through the story, they get more and more excited. They're raising their voice, and it's like people believe it, and it's like that all this person's doing is asking you for money basically so they can smoke their drugs and go on holiday. It's not to help anyone.
No one does get helped. No one does. No,
No,
Liz has just said here it does happen. And well, what I say, Liz, is, and people accuse me of saying that there's no such thing as SRA. No, there will be somewhere. It's going to be going on. No doubts about that. And I tell you why, because there's no level humanity will not stoop
no,
to or go
that's what
down
I
to.
believe. That's why these groups make it believable,
Yeah,
because there is SRA out there, but it's
they
little
explode up.
tiny silly little
Yeah.
groups that do their thing. But what I've noticed as well these days, I mean, like when I go on YouTube and I watch a video, and then after there might be some gaming videos come on, I can't believe the level that these people that make these games go to. I watched one the other day and I couldn't believe it. This woman knocked on a door. This is a computer game. Lovely looking woman, tight jeans, boobs hanging out and everything. She's knocked on the door. This old doctor has answered the door. She goes, "Oh, I heard that I can get prescriptions illegally, basically." So he's gone, "Oh, no, I don't do none of that here." She mentioned the name and he goes, "Oh, right, come in." So he's tried to drug her with a drink and that hasn't happened. But in the end, he's managed to get her on a table in his basement, tied up, and this guy's got a drill in his hand, and he's actually going to drill into a vagina. This is a
Oh, I've
game,
had it.
right?
I
Right,
know.
and then yeah, but and there's a guy in the corner already been killed by this doctor, and it was disgusting the way the game was going. That the doorbell rang. The guy's gone up to the door. She's managed to get the drill and saw through the ropes and get off. In the end, she's drilled the guy through the heart. And I was like, and this is a game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. And I mean, I know I'm guilty of it myself. A lot of these games are for 18 plus, even though I don't even think they should be playing them. My son was 13, 14 playing Gears of War. But the thing with Gears of War, instead of having all the blood and that, you can actually change the settings on it. So when you stab someone or shoot someone, love hearts and flowers come out of them. So that kind of made it acceptable to me. But what I realised with my son as well, it's like when I used to play games with my son. So I had an Xbox, he had an Xbox, and I got this card game, right. And I used to think I can't really understand why they're saying that this affects kids and stuff like that. But what I noticed, right, I had the same card game as my son. And I used to go out in my car, drive around the roads, go across a few fields, smash a few fences up. But I always used to save my money. And I never used to upgrade my cars. I'd buy another car, have it sitting in the garage. But my son, he used to upgrade everything and he used to do this and do that. And then one day, after he'd left home, he come round my house and I was playing the game, and then I stopped playing it because we was all chatting. And then he goes, "Oh, all right, if I have a go at your game." And I went, "Yeah, no problem." He's got on my game, right? I've got loads of money, loads of cars sitting in the garage, nothing upgraded, right? And he's sitting there playing the game, right? And then he's got one of my cars, he's upgraded it, put everything on it, right? Gone out, smashed it to bits, right? Got another car, done the same with that. And I thought, oh my God, now I can see how the kids have been programmed through the game, because he spent money like it was nothing. He wasted all
Yeah.
my money, smashed all my cars up, broke all the rules in the game. I mean, I know it's only a game, but that affects them when
Well,
they're in their real life and they want material stuff.
well, they do, but I say it's the way times move, Paris, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can only go forward with it. But there was also, I'll say one thing, I can remember the gangs years ago before the internet. Gangs going around, you couldn't go out. So it's not like, to me, it's not like it's more dangerous now. It's just a different type of danger now. You don't see the big gangs that you used to because they're in home playing the games. That's what happens now.
Yeah.
They're on the computers. But Roger's just asked a good thing
Yeah,
here.
what do you
And
think of that then? What Roger's just asked.
do you believe in aliens? Well, let's put it this way. I never say never. Do I believe the fish in us? I don't know, but when you think of this is the way I look, but when you think of the vastness of space and all this and the huge expanse it's ridiculously big. It's ridiculously big. If they are coming here, they're not coming here in a physical form. And I think, do you remember the book, I should say, Dune, where he tried to come up with this solution and he said, how the hell did he get from one place? I mean, it's bad enough getting from one star to another star, but going from one galaxy to another galaxy it's mind blowing. You think that you could never do it physically. So what he came up with was the idea of folding space. So you have a point there and another point there, and you bring them both together by
Like
sending it.
wormholes in it or something, or
No,
black
not a
holes
way.
or something.
No, not a wormhole. It's a projection you send to yourself. So literally, what you're
Oh,
doing is you're not there, but they can see you. You
oh,
can
like
touch
an
everything.
anagram. Is it an
Yeah, you
anagram? Oh, right.
like that,
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
feel everything. You can touch everything.
Well, can I
I think,
answer that question?
yeah.
No.
I don't know. I wouldn't say no. I
No.
wouldn't say
Well,
no.
people say aliens and UFOs and that. My interpretation of an alien could be a tiny bit of bacteria on another planet. I don't
Yeah,
believe there's anything like us anywhere.
I
I
think.
honestly don't, because the amount of luck that this planet's had to
Oh
go
yeah.
through and the
Mm,
processes, I don't think that can happen, because everything has to be exactly right to get to
yeah.
us.
The
But I
mistake.
believe there probably is some sort of maggot
No.
or
Yeah. I tell you why.
bacteria or something that you can call an alien. But
The
other
thing.
than that, I don't think you'll get any other intelligent life like we've got.
The
Because if
thing.
they was the
No,
same as us or more intelligent than us, we would be in contact with them by now.
no, we wouldn't. Not necessarily. And what you've got to understand as well is, and this is what I mean. If there's that amount of planets, there's more planets in the universe they're finding out now than there are stars. Now that's a big shock, and I mean ones that are like that. Sort of Earth like, but it's making the presumption that alien life will have to evolve along the same way as human life or what we see. They may have a completely different structure and a completely different way, but out of the statistically, there's definitely going to be somewhere life that is as intelligent as us or more intelligent. But the thing is, this is the question: does it's going to be so rare an event, as you say? The way we got to where we are now was a whole level of coincidences. One thing that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be here now. So but there's that many galaxies and there's that many planets that there's definitely going to have it happen somewhere, but they may not know we exist and we don't know they exist. And also the issue as well, we're looking for radio signals. We've got ears, we've got this, we're looking for radio signals. They may have a completely different mode of communication that
Yeah.
we can't pick up on. But
A
I
different
think
dimension.
yeah, well, they might. To me, there will be life out some there, intelligent life. But the fact is, doesn't know us, doesn't know even we exist, and can we ever find them? Because it's just so vast
But to be
that you
honest with
can't
you,
get it.
Anne, don't you think that everything else on this planet and beyond it is more intelligent than us? Because we can't even look after ourselves. But you look at all the animals; they know what to eat. They know everything they need to know how to survive and be comfortable.
Yeah.
We don't. We can't even handle how fast technology is going. That's why I think we're failing as a human race, because technology is going too fast for our brains to cope with.
Well, what it is, Paris, it's a and they've said this that too much intelligence. in a species is going to lead one way to its total extinction
Yeah,
because you get
exactly.
too successful as a race. And what it is, I think we're seeing this now, and it's been said for a long, long time. We're overpopulating the world, and the world's not going to stretch. Dream on that we're going to be able to fly to Mars. It's not going to happen. It's just
Do
not going
you
to
think that
happen.
we are overpopulating this world, though, Anne? Because
Yeah,
when
of
you
course
go up
not.
in an aeroplane, how many towns and cities do you actually see? You can fly
Yeah.
for hours and hours and hours and not see one bit of life.
Well, think of it right. Think of it this way. When we were born, there were 3 billion people on this planet. Now there's close to 10 billion. And that's just in our lifetime. It will take much shorter than that to get to 18 billion.
Yeah,
So
the more you have, the quicker it gets there.
it's getting to drastic points. And that's why I think the governments now are trying to control populations. This was going to happen. Paris, this was going to happen. They're going to have to control people because when you've got so many and it's getting to drastic points, we know if something isn't done, we're going to have famines, we're going to have all sorts going on. The planet
Yeah, but
can't
would
keep on
you
feeding us.
agree the more minds put into a subject, the better results you come out with?
Not always, no.
Well,
You
it's
can
like
all,
say like you was in a situation on your own, right? And
yeah.
you had to work out a way of surviving on your own. Now, you've got less chance of surviving on your own, but if there was 10 of you, you've got more chance of surviving because between the 10 of you, the knowledge that you've got, you can work it out how to survive. So if you've got more and more people on this planet, I think the only problem we've got on this planet is the waste, the sewage, the electric, but that I think that's all held back from us. So if there was more people on this planet, and then there's a lot more chance of us moving out onto other planets. I
We
think.
can't though. We can't. We haven't got the technology. We even got closer. And also, how much
We've
will it
got the
cost?
technology, but we haven't
We
got the
haven't.
brains to use it.
No, what it is, we haven't
We've
got the
got
technology.
space stations.
Yeah, but how the hell are you supposed to get a planet-sized a space station that's going to get 10 billion people on it? You're not going to have it. It's not going to
No,
happen. That's going to
it
travel.
won't work. It won't work like that, will it? I mean, at the end of the day, you look at this planet; it's got tunnels everywhere. Even though people
But
believe that they're full of children,
yeah,
we've got tunnels everywhere. So, what if you went to another planet and you just built tunnels, and them tunnels were self-sufficient with air
I'm
and
not
everything
talking about how
because
do you
it's
get to it,
concealed?
Paris.
So
Paris,
you could
you're
you
not
can
getting me.
move on then.
No, you're not getting me. How do you get to the planet? If we had months to fly to a planet now, how'd you get there? What would you have to do?
I know there's a lot you have to do, but what I'm saying, if you start from the ground up and the more people you add in this project, instead of a few people that earn a hell of a lot of money to come up with these ideas, but if you had more people putting input into ideas, you come up with better solutions.
But why would you bother?
Well, because you're saying that the planet's overcrowded, so
Yeah,
the
they
natural
can't
thing
look.
for me to think of doing is
Yeah,
moving on and using another
why?
planet. It's not like they're out of bounds.
Isn't it a lot cheaper to just tell people to put a rubber on and stop having
Of
so many
course, but
children?
that's not our
Yeah,
nature, is it? That's
but
the last thing we're
it will
gonna
be
do.
people if people don't start doing it.
Yeah, but and
I
then
can tell you.
that's controlling. That's
Yeah,
controlling people. Then
exactly. But
and
that's what they'll do.
that's what we don't want. We don't want control because it's like the more the population grows, the more ideas there are out there, and the better it is to solve things. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's possible and it can
Yeah,
happen, but don't kill people off and keep the population down because you say that we're running out of space when you can go up in an aeroplane and go on holiday and see masses of land
and
empty. There's
yeah,
nothing there, nothing at
exactly.
all.
This and let me guess: is there any vegetation there? Is there any water there?
I wouldn't know. Well, a lot of places there are water because you've got the
Mm,
snowy mountains and everything else, but
yeah.
you don't necessarily have to live above ground everywhere. You can live below ground.
See, this is the issue, right? This issue with the series issue that we've got now. Someone was saying before about the planet isn't overpopulated. When you use the term overpopulated, you're talking about can the resources meet the demand? You're not talking about everyone standing on each other's shoulders. What we know is the population is getting to a point, has already reached that point, basically, and that's why the panic, why you're seeing things changing, because they're panicking, where they're not going to be able to supply the food, the things you need. Look, do you think petrol and fuel is going to last forever? That's going to die out soon. It's going to be all used up. So they're
It
trying to
won't
come up
die
with
out
something else.
soon, then. We've got so much oil under the ground. We're just led to
Well,
believe we're running out.
what we have to do then, Paris, is just carry on and then just all let the future generations just go to pot, because that's what's going to happen. You can't say that this planet is going to suddenly keep on doing this resource. They have to come, like you were saying before, they have to come up with technology that will bring up new ones. But
I believe we've got the technology. I just
we
don't
most probably
believe that
do.
it's being shared out so we can all get our heads
Yeah,
together and
I agree
do
with that.
what we need to do. There's too many selfish people on this planet that are keeping it all to themselves because they're scared that if they start letting out all what they've got, they're going to end up with nothing. But it's not like that because we're the human race, and I just feel that we need to get together and work out how to move on into the future. We don't have to graze animals and kill them and eat them. I mean, I mean, I've watched programs before where societies live on insects and they've got so much protein and everything else. I know it sounds disgusting to some people, but surely it sounds disgusting cutting animals up and eating them as well. It's just our
Yeah.
mindset. It's just, I think it's all messed up.
Someone's just joined, Rick Berry, whoever you are. Hello, Rick.
Hello, I'm live on YouTube, so come over to my channel, guys.
See you, Rick.
Okay.
That was a
Well, there
short
you
one,
go.
wasn't it?
Was that an extraterrestrial one?
I think so. I think it was. There was something there.
We could have been here all night getting one sentence
I
out of
just
that
heard
one.
the voice and I thought, I can't be bothered with that. I thought I've had
we
enough.
haven't we haven't got that much time, and we
I
can't
know.
speed it up.
Hey, do you know I heard one saying something? Do you know I can't remember. Jesus, Danny Christie was saying something. I had to laugh. I was watching his podcast before or his video, and he's going on about people joking like that in it and all this. And he was saying, what do you think about that? You know, when you get white people, white lads, and they start talking like this, or dude, bro, and all that. He was saying he can't listen to them because it sounds so false. Do you remember in the 80s when if a white person spoke like that, they'd be accused of being racist, wouldn't they? Because they
Well,
were taking the,
they used to call white people that talk like that twiggers, I think. But I
oh,
actually
Paris.
don't. I don't actually get involved with racism or religion because
Mm,
to me that is man's pathetic flaw in
yeah,
life, racism and religion. I mean, I respect people that do have religions, and if it works for you, that's fine, but to me, I don't believe in it, I don't get involved in it, and it's too controversial. There's too
yeah.
many there's too
But
many people arguing about. I mean, if religion was such a good thing, why is there so much arguments around it? I don't get involved in it at all. I really I find it uncomfortable, the same as I find race uncomfortable, because despite what's happened in the past is not my fault. It's not anyone's fault that's here. And the past should be the past, and it should be history that is taught so that we never go back to that. But to me, I don't get involved in it at all. I'm not
no, it
interested in
wasn't
it.
talk. It wasn't talking about that, Annie, Paris, sorry. It was just someone said,
Oh,
Annie. Yeah. No,
sorry.
what I was talking about
I
was
just
just,
wanted to get that out there.
yeah, the thing about, you know, when people do, because I get that. I remember, you know, the way you hear some white people, and not young ones, old ones as well, who no way did they grow up speaking like that. If they used to go on like that, going bro and all that, a black person would turn around and say to me, "You being funny." You know, they'd be told that they were mimicking, and that's the way. But I had to laugh at the way he was saying it. So sometimes I think it's going too far. And the worst one is when you hear someone with a strong Scottish accent trying to say "dude." It's like, "Dude," it's too forced. It's like, no, stop saying "dude." It just doesn't sound right when you say it.
Well,
But
it made me laugh when they started putting all these new words in the dictionary.
yeah. Oh, here we are. Keep up. Mr. The End is coming. Sorry. I put the link there. If you want to join in, you just click on the link. And you'll come through. I'll see you and I click on it. That's how you do it. Just asking how they can come in to the talk. So you'll see the link there. I should have put it down. You'll see me. You look for the pretty one in the chat with the link. You just click on that. And that's the one.
Jaffakin?
I haven't got a clue. It's sometimes
something called Jaffakin.
Is that the way people talk, G, when they're doing that? Oh yeah, it must be.
I had a friend who was a plasterer, he was a white guy, and he had dreadlocks and everything, and he talked like well, whatever. And I used to talk to people about this, and they go, "Oh yeah, they're called twiggers," and it goes, "This one don't like that one, and that one don't like that," and I'm like, I don't really get none of that.
Paris, say twiggers again, and I'm going to have to warn you, right?
Oh,
it's going to come across. You have to be careful what you say. I'm going to have to edit this out when I get the chance, and it's going to be.
It's just stuff I've learned as I've grown up.
Yeah, but you have to be always remember what thing.
It's probably in the dictionary.
Yeah, but YouTube picks it up as being right, Baz. I'm sorry, I'm timing you out.
Hi, Baz.
Oh. Sorry about that, but you shouldn't have put that down.
I think he was just saying what he
thought. I know he wasn't being malicious, and I know that Baz, you weren't being malicious, but you have to be careful what you say on YouTube. It can get, not you, it will get me in trouble. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but no, it's back in.
Isn't it amazing? It's a lot easier to talk about space and aliens than it is to talk about ourselves.
I know it is. It's much
How does that work?
Unless aliens start complaining.
I'm allowed to talk about aliens, but I can't talk about the human race.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what would happen if we did ever meet aliens. You know, you just wouldn't know.
Do you know what our first instinct would be? To destroy them.
Yeah, most probably.
And then study them and go, oh, they seemed all right, really. And then we'll have the whole planet after us.
If there are any aliens that are coming here, I mean, you never know. They could be, and we can't see them because who says that they have to have a physical body? We don't know.
Yeah, they could be in a different dimension. Yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon there's a lot more dimensions than we know.
Yeah, well, that's it. They don't think to say we have different. I mean, if there's a spirit world or whatever, that's a dimension. Here we are. Here's Liz coming on. Hiya, Liz.
Hiya, sweet. How are you doing?
Oh, all right, sweetheart. And you?
I find you are one classy lady, I have to say. Now, I'd like to know what the topic is tonight. Is it just anything that gets your hump?
Well, let's put it this way. Paris has got me up a couple of times with words she's been saying, haven't you, Paris? Naughty girl.
Yeah. No. Liz is the topic at the moment.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's
right. Well, aliens exist. Aliens exist. Let me tell you, they exist.
So go on, tell us how they exist.
Have you met one?
I'm sure of it. They exist. And AI is going to come along and kill us all off, and then we've had it.
Oh, hang on.
But that's the good news.
AI.
Yeah, artificial intelligence. But that's the good news.
Well, that's us doing that, isn't it?
We've done that. So we're going to, well, we will kill ourselves with AI eventually.
No, AI will become so intelligent, it'll have no use of us.
Yeah, but, like the Matrix, not the Matrix. What's that?
No, that kind of thing.
Isn't it? Yeah, where the robot. that takes over.
iRobot. Was it iRobot?
Yeah, iRobot. That's it, isn't it?
That
Yeah.
kind of thing, yeah.
If they
Yeah,
start getting-
I've always said we are our own worst enemy, and we will destroy ourselves because
that's
we
it.
don't get
I do think,
together enough.
Paris, have we got any say in it? No, we haven't. The powers that be are dealing all this. We are just mere minions.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
you
we're
say
just
that,
collateral
but
damage.
they are petrified of us. The only problem with us is we do not unite and say how we want the world to go. That's
You
our
think
problem.
people aren't uniting? You think they aren't collecting together in the background?
In small groups we are, but it's not enough. We got to do it in the millions, not in the thousands or the hundreds. We've got to get together and all agree on the same thing. We're all different, but we all need to agree on the same thing, that we cannot let the 1% control this planet.
But it is doing.
I know it is, because we're letting it. We're our
Right.
own worst enemy.
Well, whatever ego's about, you're always going to have somebody that wants to just have that little bit more or be that little bit better. And it's always going to be that way.
But
Yeah.
what's that got to do with aliens, though?
Because aliens that hear it anyway, well, I believe they are, you know, call me strange.
Have you
Most
seen
people
one?
do. No.
Have you-
No. I have the kind of DNA that they think is part alien, but no, I don't believe I am. No. I'm just a forward thinker.
No, I
But the
didn't,
thing
I
is,
didn't
is that
ask if you was an alien. I asked if you've ever seen one.
I believe I've seen something, yes, but I can't say it's alien. I can't say it's not. I'm open-minded. Why have you?
I've never
No.
seen an alien, and I don't believe in aliens. It's like I said to Anne earlier, there are aliens out there, but not how we think they are. I believe there's micros or some sort of growth out there that we can call aliens, but I don't believe that there's intelligent life like us, even though I don't think we're that intelligent.
But surely you can't say because you haven't seen something, you can't believe in it.
I need to see something to believe in it.
Right. Fair point. Fair point.
Just like,
so you're not a believer with David Icke, then? You're not.
I need to
David
see
Icke.
God. I need to see Jesus. I need to see all this stuff before I believe in it. I don't want to take other people's words for it. I don't want to read a book and believe in it. I come on YouTube very gullible, but I'm not anymore. I think the world's very black and white.
No,
And we're
no,
messing
no.
it up. I think we're messing it up.
I think what it is, Paris, what you're saying, what I've said a few times, life can be much, much more boring than we want to think it is. It can be extremely boring. I mean, I believe there is out there going to be somewhere out there intelligent life, but that's a huge difference from it's actually even knows we exist and is here. And until I see, like Paris is saying, I'd have to see direct evidence. I couldn't say, oh, yeah, there are aliens here or people are half alien, unless, you know, I saw evidence of it. I think to me, it's too much of a big stretch that to have that commitment. But I think there is going to be intelligent life out there. But because of the vast distances, it's questionable whether it will even know we exist or we do. This is nothing. Would we recognize each other as intelligent life? If we met, it might be something that this is the thing. How do you communicate? How do you know? It's all kinds of things. It would be a nightmare if we actually mess up trying to work out you're even supposed to recognize. And that's the problem. Would you recognize it as being alien?
So even that comment there, Anne, you can't see love, but you believe in that. Look, at the end of the day, there's millions of words on this planet that you can't see that you use and believe.
But what you're saying this is that they're actually here, aren't you? Where what I'm saying is that I have to see them being here, but I believe there are aliens out there somewhere.
Well, with the disclosures that have been shown of UFOs that they say they don't know what they are, there must be something here or something has visited this planet at some stage.
Anything you don't understand or hasn't been discovered is an alien. People just seem to think that there's aliens out there that are more intelligent than us. Maybe they are in their world, but they wouldn't be intelligent in our world because everything about them would be different. Everything.
That's what I think.
They would
We
not
wouldn't even know.
survive in our world, like we wouldn't survive in their world. So to think that there's an alien out there driving a special car and they can zap anyone away with it or anything like that it's not the real world. There are aliens in a sense, but if there was intelligent alien life out there, it would never be able to exist in our world, like we wouldn't be able to exist in their world. So it's irrelevant to us because it's of no use to us. Like we're not no use to them. Different dimensions.
Oh, I do believe in different dimensions.
But you see, Paris, that's another thing. Do we know these? We don't have any existence of these dimensions. I mean, I believe there's dimensions, but we don't have any evidence of it, do we? So there's something you do believe in that you've never seen.
Oh yeah, I believe that, like, when people talk about aliens, all right, aliens do exist out there, but like when you think like there's life out there that lives off of gases, it lives off of different heats, different things, different gravities to us, but it's of no use to us, because what is the point in bringing something to our world that lives in a different gas, a different gravity,
Who says it has a physical form?
Has no intelligent life like we've got, just like we haven't no intelligent life that they've got.
But who says it's a physical form?
That's what I was saying. It might not be in a physical form. You could have something.
No, it might not be.
That's an energy.
I mean, there's things out there that just do what they do. And we don't understand why they do what they do, but they have a certain pattern, but they have no meaning to us. Just like if we went there, we would have no meaning to them. There's no platform that we could both stand on and understand. Because, like, say you said there was a gas out there that was an intelligent form. That gas would not be able to relate to us, just like we wouldn't be able to relate to it. So if you look at it from that perspective, yeah, there are aliens, but not in a way that we want them to be.
I'm not talking big green men with long floppy arms. Excuse me if I'm insulting any big green men with long floppy arms, because I don't wish to. I really don't. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who said there isn't a race or a collective being, a collective energy that has helped us in the past, that we are part of, that we just don't realise we're part of.
Well, we don't know, do we?
I don't get it. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't even get a grip around technology, let alone the rest of the universe. We create things we can't even keep up with.
I think what is with this, because Liz, you're touching on this ancient technology or the way ancient man seemed to be able to create things. Is that what you're talking about? Like the pyramids and stuff like that?
We now find out that the Earth is, people have been living on the Earth for hundreds and thousands of more years than we actually first thought.
Well, you see, this is the issue I have. And there's a thing, or what, as it's a theory, is that ancient man was much, much more advanced than what we give him credit. Yeah. What they seem to be learning about is that at some point, I don't know, there was 25,000 years ago, something like that, there was or 15,000 years ago, there was a terrible catastrophe that hit the Earth that nearly wiped everything out, including man, and there was only a few left. But before that event happened, there used to be what they termed the sea people. That's the only thing they can come up with, who were advanced. And we know now, even after this catastrophe, we know that China was much, much more accessible Greeks were going to China, ancient Egyptians were going to China. There was two way. We're finding all this out. What it is.
But that's just lost history, though, isn't it, Anne? It's
Yes,
not.
it has.
Nothing,
Oh,
no.
no.
It's not anything to do with aliens.
No, it's not anything to do with aliens. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to require aliens. It's just lost knowledge. And that's why, because as they say about ancient Egypt just seemed to appear overnight. That's what archaeologists can't find. It didn't evolve. It just appeared. Now, as they're saying, they're getting evidence now that actually it was led out of some kind of African advanced culture that was going on there. And you have the sea people as well. And also, if you look at the rituals in ancient Egypt, they're remarkably similar in some ways to rituals that the ancient Indians in ancient India. So you're getting this. So what is man was much, 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 much more advanced than we give credit for. So you didn't need the aliens. But what happened was there was this huge catastrophe that wiped out the vast majority of humans and animals at that time. And the result was we forgot. And they reckon that's why we can be so paranoid now, because we've got what they call the imprint in us of that any time we can go. And that's why most people suffer from paranoia now, because we can go. But it's like when people talk about this, one thing that gets me talk about Stonehenge, you know, the wonder of Stonehenge. What you forget about Stonehenge, and this is what I say to people, that was built over a 3,000-year period. It's absolutely sad for the time they had to build it, for what we've got, and they go on as if it's some amazing structure. The pyramids, look at the pyramids and compare them to Stonehenge.
Don't you think that
I do believe there was a race of
calendar, don't you think, like, when you get down to the nitty-gritty of Stonehenge, don't you think that it was a calendar to show when to harvest, when not to harvest?
Oh yeah.
Also, that's what I believe Stonehenge is, and I just think that people read so much into it that back in them days, that was their god. Because if you didn't have a calendar, when to tell you to harvest and when to all this sort of stuff, and then it's like you're starting from scratch every year. That's how we learn.
Well,
through
they have
having
proved that people
calendars
in
like
ancient
that.
times did know about planets that we're only just learning about. They had actually mapped them all out, you know, and we had no knowledge. We seem to have forgotten.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but you say that, but like we've got probes out there that have been out there for like years and years and years, and they're discovering planets. No one in the past has said them planets were out there, because there's no way. There's no way that you could
plotted the planets. They plotted the planets. That is it Cyrus, one of the planets.
The what's it called? What it is, that's the one that the pyramids are built on, aren't they? To keep in line with the please someone tell me, I know this name. The begins with a P, but you talk about the dog star and all that, aren't you? But what it is with that is that they have a simple explanation for that, and it wasn't just the Egyptians. I think it was the Aztecs or
Mayans,
the Maya were building on the same process. But the thing is, as astrologers will tell you, astronomers should say, if you look up, that's the only part of the sky that doesn't move. All the other stars move, so they'd naturally be fascinated by that. They'd be looking up thinking, wait a minute, why doesn't that move when all the other stars move? So they think that's why they honed in on us, because they were the only ones moved. And there was this thing about the dog star, wasn't it? There was a tribe who they knew all about it, but as has been revealed, which is what you've got to be careful of taking first accounts, they said they can't find any record of this tribe actually mentioning these aliens or coming up with these concepts of Sirius and all that until after these Westerners had visited and came up with this. They have this special knowledge. So now the doubt has been cast. Was it that the foreigners just took what they were saying, interpreted it their way, and they're just convinced now that that's what they meant? Because the locals can't remember what it meant. It was faded into thingy with them, didn't it? Into like a legend with them. But they can't work out,
Yeah,
and that's
what
where
was
you've got to
passed
be very
down
careful.
from people.
Yeah. So they can't work out now whether it was the Westerners put it in the head and just it. I tell you a perfect example of it. It's like Stonehenge, right? When people used to think it was an observatory or whatever, or something magical. Say that you're an alien and you landed on Earth, and there was no one around, no humans or anything around, and you landed by what we term a church or a cathedral with a spire. How would you work out what that building was and what it meant to humans? Well, if the alien was standing there looking at it and studying it, of course, it wouldn't know that it was a church or anything like that. But it suddenly noticed that on the ground, the spire was casting a shadow. And as the sun progressed across the sky, the shadow would move with it. So
Yeah.
the alien would come to the conclusion, oh my God, it's a clock. This
Yeah.
is how the humans kept pace with time. But the fact is, it isn't a clock. We never designed spires to be clocks. It's a place of worship. And that's what you have to be careful of. In other words, there was a show on the television years ago, which is amazing. Something about life from the view of a cow. Until a human being can think like another species and think from outside the way humans think, we'll never know the full truth. We can only see it from our point of view and how we
That's a
see
very good
things.
point. That is a very good point.
Yeah, you need another intelligence to be able to say, well, I don't see it that way. But yet, so when people see these monuments and they read all things into it, it could be pure coincidence that happens with the
But
thing.
if you looked back at us in a few hundred years' time or a few thousand years' time, and I think people will probably be convinced there's aliens because of the technology that we come out with and the different design spaceships we come out with. You've only got to lose a little bit of history for people's minds to go wild. But what did Minnie Mouse mean about that, about negative blood there, that thing? Oh, let's spice this up a tad.
Right. I must say thank you, Anne, for letting me join in. Thank you, Paris. But I think we're really on a same level there. Thank you, Paris. It's been lovely. And thank you, everybody out there. You know, I'd like to thank my Teddy and my mother and everybody else. But thank you very much.
Thanks, Liz. God bless you now. Bye-bye, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
But yeah,
it can go on forever when you talk about aliens and space, though, can't it? Because it does seem to go on forever.
It's personal opinion, isn't it? And what people see life as. It's how you view life. That's how you see it.
I just like to keep it as black as white as I can until I see proof of otherwise.
Yeah.
Because we've been on this planet for a long time, and the proof that we've actually seen is always blurred or not always. I mean, the technology we've got, why are we still getting blurred spaceships and things like that? And, I didn't have my camera. Everyone's
that gets me, Paris. Yeah, you made a good point, because what always gets me, it's like when they photograph these aliens, or they photograph these or they film these Sasquatch or whatever you call them, Bigfoot. It's always you always say to yourself, oh God, isn't it terrible they only had a crap camera to do it with? Isn't that true? It's always blurred, or you can't see what's going on, and it's like, oh, come on. We've got the technology now to get a clear picture.
Or thousands of people will be taking photos of that same thing, not just one person or a little group of people. It'd be from all different angles, all around the world. Everyone would be running there taking pictures, and it's just not like that. We've got little secret government groups that put all this crap out there, but I honestly believe the world's black and white until I see otherwise. God don't exist, and religion and race is just put there to divide us all.
I think what it is, it's still say, don't they, the saying is the simplest explanation is usually the most, the truest explanation. And I think what it is, when it's, it comes to, as I said before to Liz, usually we don't want to accept that actually things can be boring and mundane and just, and we want to read excitement into it, and it gives you hope then to see excitement, to see things and think of things like that. But as say, we don't know the full history of mankind. We don't know just how advanced, but we all find out bit by bit by bit we have got history wrong. There was a hell of a lot more going on, and we were a hell of a lot much more advanced than we give credit to nowadays. So they're going to have to start changing the history books and rewriting it. But thankfully, we've got the people with the intelligence to work that out and say, look, this isn't making sense.
Wow, yeah. That's heavy. I think we're quite a dumb race, to be fair.
Oh,
we can't even work out how to live with each other.
Yeah, well, that's because we're evolved from quite territorial and aggressive apes, aren't we?
Yeah, but surely when something evolves that slow, we should get it right all the way along the line.
Because it's what we'd evolve from. That's it. If this is what the irony of it, the dichotomy in it. They know that we came originally from like a chimp sort of animal. Now, chimps can be very aggressive and very territorial, and they'll kill for the territory. Well, actually, that was what most probably propelled us forward to be the dominant species, because we were very territorial, and this is my place. You're not going to get there. And something kicked in that way. Our brains evolved to be able to, as say, become the dominant species. But when you think about how many species are on this planet, including insects and all that, there'll be billions and billions. Yet we're the only one that has this intelligence. And that is no way you said that finding life would be so rare out there, intelligent life in the universe. And I was agreeing with you, it will be extremely rare.
Yeah, but Anne, do you think that intelligence is success?
Well, this is what scientists are saying, aren't they? Who was that one in the wheelchair?
When you look at ants, I think ants are a lot more intelligent than us. Yeah, they're a lot more successful than us.
You can say that, yeah, but it depends what you see as being success. I think we're a bit more successful or have it easier than an ant does.
The only way we think we're successful is because some of us can control others, whereas ants work as a unit. They've all got their job, they all do their thing, and
exactly.
They're successful. Whereas us, we try and pull the wool over each other's eyes. To me, that's not intelligence. Well, we should all grow together and share the intelligence that we know and move on. But we don't do that because some of us think we're worth more than others.
Yeah, and that's how you evolve.
Other species don't think like that. They just fight for survival.
No, what you do get species that you have your alphas and then you have ones that look at the way the especially the predator ones, they're always fighting for supremacy. They have their own little groups. You see it in the ape world, you see it in the lion world. They'll always have one dominant one that will hold
you'll
the
see one tribe
together.
Attack another. Yeah, it just seems.
But you'll see inside
the way the world is.
One will be the boss. But when you're talking about ants, if we were to be like ants, you'd have no brain. You'd just act on impulse. You'd have that's all you'd be. You'd just be a working ant.
But you say that. I watched a documentary once, right, about ants, right? And there was this old ant's nest that they decided to dig up. So what they did was they filled it up with a metal or some sort of aluminium or something. They just kept piling it in and piling it in. There was tons and tons and tons of it. And then when they actually dug out this ant's nest that was huge. I mean, it was massive. It had hospitals in it. It had playrooms in it. It had everything that you could think. It even had rubbish dumps in it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was mind-boggling how well these ants was doing underground. And like, this is something that we didn't know. To me, that's an alien. until you know, and then it's not. But when they dug this ant's nest out that was underground, it just went for miles. It was mind-boggling what they know and what they do.
Yeah, but can they build mines like we do? No.
Well, it looked like a mine.
Yeah, but it's nothing in comparison to what we can do. You see, it's easy
Yeah,
to
but
see animals.
what does what we do benefiting us in any way? We dig a mine, we find some coal, we make a bit of heat, whatever. Or do you know what I mean? But everything what they done was for a purpose. It's like everything we do destroys the planet and destroys people.
But we're doing basically what animals do, our own survival. That's it. If
I think we're worse because animals don't go digging for gold. They don't go digging for
no, they
oil.
don't.
They don't. And it seems like everything we do destroys who we are.
But when you think of it this way, I'm saying, Paris, right? When you have plagues of rats and stuff, do you think all the rats concerned about is locusts? They're not thinking, oh dear, I better be nice here because there's other species. They'll do what we do. They just eat everything in the pot. It's they come first. That's the whole compulsion. So it's not that the animal kingdom. Don't forget, we are animals.
Yeah, but don't you think that the rat population has only grown because of us? It was probably a lot more organised before we come about because they eat everything that we chuck away.
Well,
they eat everything that we don't chuck away. They eat everything that we make,
Paris,
and it makes the population much bigger.
Well, what you've got to do, Paris, if there's such a thing as reincarnation, you elect to be the one that comes back as an ant. That's all you can do and say, I'll be an ant. Because, I mean, I'd rather be a human than be an ant. Somehow I don't know why I think that I would do. Because this is it. And this is what we forget. We are animals ourselves. And so that and this is what it say, we are wonderful. We are amazing. Sometimes, I walk around and I look, suddenly will hit me. And I'll say, my God. And you suddenly realize, what is this that I'm alive, that I can think? What is this planet that's so unique? I'm walking on the grass. I can see the trees. And suddenly I realize just how unique and rare and precious we are in this planet is. Now, if more people had that view, how precious we are, we've been talking about aliens and how rare it must be, extremely rare, to find something that matches us or could become close to us. We should have that in our mind and say, we are so special and unique, and this planet is. Then we do what you're doing, what you're talking about. We'd actually stop grabbing at everything, and we would take care of the planet, and we would take care of each other. But it's getting to that point where we see just how wonderful we are. And this is why I say, people want to believe in God, that's up to them, but you don't need a God. To me, we're wonderful, we're magical, we're special. Something's, unique about us.
We're definitely different.
Yeah, I think we are. And if people just realize how amazingly we are as a creation and rare. I mean, we're the rarest jewel you'll find for a long
the worst,
way.
Either the rarest or the worst.
But I think, but I would, to me, I'd rather be a human than, let's say, be an ant or another animal, because it's just like they don't have. I say we're not subject as much to the whims of nature. We can dominate nature, and I suppose that can be seen as a bad thing, actually, because we dominate nature too much, and of course we're destroying other species. That's what kills me, what actually upsets me the most, is how we make other creatures go extinct. I mean, if we could just be less greedy, Paris, then
that's what it is. It's just greed.
That's
greed. All it is.
So you're right in that way. We are with a greedy lot, and that's what's causing all the damage.
It's like, as soon as we find out how to manipulate others, we do it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and people do it, and I suppose
that is a bad trait of ours. Whereas, it's like you see. I mean, I've seen so many documentaries where animals have been in trouble and they help each other, and you could see how they get so stressed when they're young or in trouble. And
Did you see? Oh, Paris, I just got to jump in there because you'll love this if you say what you're saying. You've just said something that's I saw the other day. There's a video on YouTube of 2 killer whales, orcas, and they actually help free a humpback whale. Now, usually humpback whales, they'll eat them, but they actually, it's bound up in, in no fishing lines and stuff like that, and it's ill and it's getting exhausted, and they actually filmed this. They couldn't believe it, the people on the boat. The killer whales come up and actually bite away the thing, the lines of it, and let it swim off. They saved it. They've never seen them do. Isn't that just absolutely? That makes your heart warm, doesn't it? That they actually go and do that.
But I've seen a lot of animal documentaries where animals really do care for others. And I saw one the other day where this bear, this big grizzly bear, come up to this hunter who had a cabin out in the woods. He come up to his house, the guy come out, and the bear kept walking away, and the guy realised that the bear wanted him to follow him. And this guy followed this bear, and he went out into the middle of nowhere thinking, if this bear turns round, I'm shagged. And this bear, all he wanted him to do was help his baby that was trapped.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing because you saw the whole video of this taking place.
But the problem
and
with
you
that,
just see the care that the animal had for other animals was just amazing.
Was that a grizzly bear, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is the problem. I mean, if I saw a grizzly bear, I wouldn't, if I'd have thought, know what they're like. If I saw it, I don't care whether I had a baby or not.
Yeah, but see, there's 2 scenarios with grizzly bears, isn't there? If a grizzly bear saw you, it will just come and attack you. But this one kept coming up near this guy and then walking away and coming up and walking away. And
I get you.
This guy knew that this grizzly bear wanted the guy to follow him. And he followed him, and all the time he was following him, he was really skeptical whether he was doing the right thing. And then when he saw this baby trapped and he helped the baby, it was just amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
you
like
do see
the care and the thought pattern through these animals. I think they've got a lot more care. I mean, I know humans have got a lot of care, but the risk that this bear took going to this hunter's house to get help was incredible.
See, what man should do, really, and this is the thing, anyone that believes in, the Bible, they should, and we used to get told this in school, because I went to a Catholic school. They used to say, always remember the first thing that is said in Genesis about Adam. Man was put over the animals to take care of them. And they say that is not to abuse them. And I remember we used to get told that, but too much we don't take into. I mean, it's horrendous what we're doing to the sea and what we're doing. We're destroying the sea. And do you know what? We're going to destroy an animal, or if we haven't already done it, that could have no medical properties in it that we really need. And we've most probably made it go extinct. And that's what annoys me. I'm thinking to myself, no, something's got to give, because it's just, we haven't got the right to destroy other species like we are. We should actually use that.
Have you seen that documentary on Netflix called My Octopus Teacher?
No.
Watch it. It'll blow your mind. It is amazing. It really is amazing. It's a documentary about this little octopus, and this guy constantly kept going out to sea, and he actually had a bond with this octopus, and it was sad in the end, but after that, it showed you true life and how caring everyone and everything can be to each other. It is an amazing documentary. This guy had done it on his own, and it was an incredible bit of footage. It was brilliant. It really was good. You should watch it.
Oh,
My Octopus Teacher, it's called.
See, octopuses are very an extremely intelligent creature. I have jewelry or one, but some jewelry of what they call a coconut octopus, and very intelligent creatures, but I've never eaten one, would never eat one. Even when I was younger, I wouldn't eat one. But absolutely very intelligent, wonderful creatures, octopuses are. So
I didn't actually know that they grew their ligaments back as well when they got chopped off.
Oh yeah, they can do.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too fancy of squid. I saw giants. What were they called? Hump when I was a kid on a boat, and it freaked me out. Humboldt squid. I'm not too fond of them. And I remember it was funny. Just said this so people can get a little funny story about what happened to me. It was about 11 on a boat, and I can't even remember where we were. We were in the Mediterranean, and suddenly saw other little rowing boats in the area going away. And we were on a little boat, tiny little boat it was. And it was starting to go dusk, and we were thinking, oh, why are they suddenly going away? Why aren't they fishing? And then I looked down. I don't know whether I first saw something or someone else did. And someone said, oh, look, the lights in the water. And there was this thing flashing. I was fascinated by this thing. Anyway, we got back onto shore, and it was big, Paris. It was big. Now, at that age, I thought squid were little things like that. Calamari that you got in the restaurant.
Oh, they can be massive, can't they?
Oh, this was huge. Well,
Yeah.
to me as a kid, it looked absolutely enormous. Anyway, we got back on, and they said, one of the fishermen was saying, no, he said, I'm sure
Stop being horrible, Andre. You're not funny. He's just messing about.
But yeah, they got back, and they said we'd rather jump in the water with a great white shark than one of those things, because apparently vicious, bloody vicious. They'll actually drag people down and attack them. But so then that put me off squid, I can tell you now. But it was huge. Parasite only thought that squid were little. I say at that age, I thought they were little things. And I came back home.
This guy done this documentary, or was quite little. It was little. This guy done this documentary on, but it's very cleverly filmed, and it was good.
Yeah. But there's some, actually, someone saying this giant squid is scary. Yeah, giant squids are very scary. But there's a tiny little octopus, and they have it on the internet as well. This woman's holding this tiny little octopus, and it's gorgeous. It's got red rings on it. Other that had to bite it, and it could have wiped it out, and more of her friends with one bite at them, and it would have ended them. But for some reason, it didn't want to bite them. But yeah, there is some amazing.
I think the worst things in the sea are jellyfish.
The worst things, you say, or the best things?
Yeah, the worst. Yeah.
Oh, a man of war! My God, that I mean, I've never ever encountered one, and I wouldn't want to encounter one. Some people eat them. Oh, Jesus!
Yeah.
How could anyone?
There's always someone out there that'll eat something.
But how can you eat an octopus? I mean, it's just globby. Or
yeah.
It's like I was watching things with this mukbang or whatever it is, where they eat. It's usually the Chinese people eating stuff, and they'll eat like raw octopus and stuff like that. And actually, it's fascinating to watch, even though it should be grotesque, and they're like chewing away on them. It's like, oh my God! But it's fascinating watching them doing it. They'll eat things we wouldn't eat. Let's put it that way.
And I'm going to let you catch up with the chat. I'm just going to go to the loo quickly.
Okay.
I'll mute out.
Actually, I'll have to let's see what time is it. You'll have to end it soon enough. So let's look through the chat. Yeah, it's supposed to, it's very fishy, isn't it? I suppose it would taste like squid or calamari, as it's called. I've had calamari, which I used to love. But I say that big, massive squid, cook or blimey. It was like a light under the water flashing. It was the weirdest thing going. But apparently, if you fall in the water, they're attracted to the boat's lights. If you fall into the water, they'll grab you. It's when the Resident Alien. Anyone, any questions here? I should go downstairs because I'm getting tired now. Ooh, been up early. No, I had one of those days, where you do very little. And I think that tires you out more. Oh, there's one girl, wasn't there, on the internet, everyone laughs at it, and the octopus, she tries to eat a live octopus. Why you'd want to eat a live octopus, don't know. And the thing sticks to her face, and she's screaming her head off because she can't get it off. And the suckers really do get hold of people. Well, this is it, a squid, I say, calamari. It's actually delicious. Squid is actually nice when you eat it.
Do you know what? It makes me laugh, Anne, right? We talk about aliens and space and all that, right? When I lived in the city and then I moved out here, I can't believe how many beautiful animals out here, birds, I've never seen before in my life, the colours in them. And do you know what? It makes me laugh because when you look at nature, all the males are really pretty colours and beautiful, and all the females are very plain and bland. But we've got it the other way around.
Well, it's only because no, it hasn't always been that way, though. I mean, you had the I had this
animals, it is.
Oh, no, but what I'm saying is if you're talking about putting on, humans have to add the adornments. Animals will have the adornments naturally, but actually, some animals do put adornments on the males when they're in the mating season to put the display on. But with humans, if you look at, let's say, the ancient Egyptians and all that, they were the men wore the
other way around then, yeah.
Men, they were as elaborate as the women. You get to the Georgian times, and the men were more spectacular looking than the women.
The men used to wear dresses and makeup back in the day, didn't they?
Well, that's it. It's just your thing. And actually, a very interesting thing is about fashion. Women wouldn't have the clothes they have, the dresses they have, if it wasn't for men, because it was in the Middle Ages in England, we're the ones that invented it, that started mastering the technique of, because people used to wear, like robes or shrouds and stuff like that, and just put things over themselves. So anyway, what happened was I think it was about the 12th century or something, they started in England mastering the way to make fitted clothes, actually, that fitted people. Now, the astonishing thing was it started for men. And some of them, oh my God, when you see them, they were very, very risque because the church was given out. Now, you've heard of a mini skirts, haven't you? That the 60s where it used to go.
I've got a couple.
Yeah, it leaves nothing to the imagination. Men used to wear them in the, I think it's the 1200s.
Didn't the Romans wear skirts like that, short skirts like that?
Well, they wore leathered aprons, didn't they? But it would be down to the knees. But in medieval England, they actually got it. Because, of course, in medieval England, the thing was a man's beauty was his legs. All that a man had to do was show us, get this, ladies, if you're in the Middle Ages, if a man flashed his leg at you, that's why they showed the legs off. You'd swoon and go into a passion because
I'd have been good back in the day then.
Well, that's it. Lovely carpets.
I did.
Well, what they did was that they got the costume to show the legs off more, and as you can see paintings of it from the period, and literally you can see the backside and everything. It leaves nothing. It's like a shift. It's just like wearing a shift that's well above the knees. But men did that. Well, what it was, the women could see these men wearing all these elaborate clothes and tops that actually fitted them. So the women started wanting it.
Do you think that's where we went wrong? Do you think after that's where we went wrong? Because you look at things like ducks and pheasants. I mean, you look at a male pheasant, it's got so many beautiful colours in it. But you look at a female pheasant, it's just a boring brown bird. But to me, it's the male that has to impress the female.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, with us humans, it's the other way around. The women all dress up and have their boobs hanging out and everything to attract a man. But you look at a duck, it's exactly the same. You look at a male duck, it's got so many beautiful, amazing colours in it. Whereas a female duck, it's just a boring brown duck. Because that
yeah, I know, but
that has nothing to prove.
Paris, tell me when you've ever seen an overly sexy male chimpanzee, or you've seen a sexy male, a colourful male dingo, gorilla. We're a different species. If we were descended from ducks, most probably we'd have all kinds of coming on.
Yeah.
But we're descended from animals where they don't have that. I mean, all that, the difference between a female chimpanzee and a male chimpanzee is a male chimpanzee will be bigger. A gorilla, you have your silverbacks. But it's just because we're not from a species.
Yeah, but don't the chimpanzees just shag anyone anyway? It's just their natural thing. They just go around shagging their brothers and sisters and everything else. That's just what they do.
Well, what's that?
I see a documentary on it, and they was just rumping for the sake of it, and it's like, Jesus, give it a rest.
Well, that's what they do, don't they? That's it. That's what we'd be doing if we had. I mean, this is it. It's only
if there wasn't a law, probably.
Yeah,
You're probably right.
Look, this is the thing about people who believe in Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve must have been incestuous. They must have been. They couldn't have populated as they did unless they were having sex with the same sons, and if they had daughters, because of course they didn't mention daughters in the Bible because women were mentioning. But yet they would have been incestuous in the beginning to populate the world. So
it just seems funny to me how we've got it. I mean, like, you come out here and you look at some of the birds out here, they're absolutely amazing. And when you find that the color of that bird is a male and the female was so bland, it's like, is that where we went wrong?
It's just it's what is parrots. We're developed from another species that doesn't have that. Apes, and when you might say find some monkeys and apes that have colourful males, but
it's all about their bum with them, isn't it? And it's all about their arse with them.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into that because you're getting. I don't want to keep that for you know, Sharon Gale's chat. Get on there and do that with her. She likes stuff like that. Don't put it anyway. But yet, the thing is, so it's because we're simply not, and culture is that the women are the ones, because women have more aesthetically pleasing shapes, let's put it that way, and they're more aesthetic so you can dress them up and do more with them, where men have too many swinging bits that look a bit, silly, flopping about or shaking about, and that's it. So you have that's why it is. But we could, but actually there's also animals where the female's the one that's the stunner when you see them. So you can't, but it's mainly in the bird world. Oh, in the bird world, the male is usually.
It's opened my eyes up out here. It's like, to me, it's like everything's backward, but it makes you wonder: are we the ones that have gone backwards? Because it shows it all the way through the bird life that all the males are really pretty colours and the girls are just.
You're not a bird. You're not evolved from a bird.
I know, but I'm just saying we've evolved from something. So
we've evolved from apes,
have got it wrong somewhere along the line.
No, we would evolve from apes, hairy backside apes. That the only thing was to I should say, to do things.
We have evolved from apes, though.
Oh, of course we have. You only have to look at us.
I don't know if we have. I really don't know.
You mean you can't look at yourself and see that we're similar?
Well, yeah, I can, but they say that we've got more in common with a pig than we have with an ape.
No, when you're talking about gene-wise, we're more ape-like we are. I mean, get your arm, put it back. Why can you do that with your arm? There's no reason why a human has to reach back from that. That's a throwback to when we used to swing from branch to branch. So there's that. There's not only that, there's this. I don't know whether you'll be able to see us. I have it. Not everyone does, though, so don't check on. If you won't be able to see it on here. But if you get your thumb, put your palm upwards, get your hand out, and put put your thumb and your little finger together and press them. And if you see a line on your wrist standing up, which I have, there's absolutely no reason for a human to have that, but all apes have it. So that's get your little finger
together.
Yeah, then press them together, the tips them hard.
Yeah.
With your hand with your palm facing up, right?
Yeah.
And you should see a line. Not everyone has it. A line on your wrist, the center of your wrist coming up, and that is. Well, I've got it, but not everyone
I've
does
got
have.
hundreds of lines.
Well, it's a distinctive tendon you'll see coming up, a distinctive tendon, and that is
right.
a throwback. So look at the coccyx, right? We had a tail. We know we had a tail. There's no doubt about that. So there's no doubt that we did come from apes, because we've got all the things that we used to use that we don't use anymore, and also ears, though you won't see it. They know, they've tried it. Our ears, actually, we don't know it because I don't see it because it's so small. We'll move when we hear a sound behind us or from a different direction, and they'll twitch, but we can't see it. And they said that's a throwback to the 8 days when the ears would move in the direction of the sound that they were hearing. But it's
I'm a bit disappointed in us now, really.
oh, we're wonderful. We're wonderful. We're absolutely wonderful creations. That's right. Well, I say creations, but we're wonderful creatures we are, and I think we don't realize just how wonderful we are. As long as and if we did realize how wonderful we are, we'd.
Well, if nothing else, then at least we've given the comment a lot to talk about.
Yeah. But anyway, what I'm going to do, Paris, is coming up to nearly 3 hours, isn't it? I don't need my beauty sleep because, as you can tell, I've got bags of it. I wish I could donate it to people that do. I keep on saying I'm not generous. If I could donate my beauty to those, let's just.
You should do a makeup thing one night. What I used to do, Anne. I reckon you'd be good at that on here.
No chance anyone seeing me with my makeup off. No chance. I couldn't do it, Paris. I couldn't do it.
Can't you just pixel it till you got your makeup on?
And that's what I think I'd have to do. What I'd have to do is put makeup on, pretend I haven't got any on, then put it on. Oh, this is me. This is what I really look like. My face like this.
You know what? That's why I don't like coming on lives, right? Because what I've done with my picture, I went on this app that someone told me about, right? And they put themselves in as a man and said, what would they look like as a woman? And I done that, and that's why I ended up coming up with that picture. And I put it on there because it does look like me, but obviously it looks a lot younger and a lot healthier. And then people going, "Oh, Paris, your skin's so lovely, and this and that, and your teeth are lovely." And I was like, trust me, it's an app and a lot of filters. And now I'm kind of disappointed I've done it, really, because I don't want to come on live to disappoint everyone.
Oh, God.
But I used to come on live all the time and never used to worry about it.
Did you see the one Grobno did of himself as a woman?
Yeah, I think it was him that told me about the app. He's obsessed with that girl one.
But don't you agree, though, he'd be gorgeous as a woman?
Yeah, but I don't think he looks as good as I do. And I think he actually used a lot more filters than I did. I only used 2 filters. He used about 5. And he's obsessed with the girl that he's made.
Yeah, well, it's a good look.
And I'm like, ease up a bit. You're still a guy.
Did you see him, though? He did that face thing, didn't he? Know that app where it changed him into like a devil thing. And he went like that with his hand. And someone clipped it where you see what he really looks like. And actually, he was quite a good-looking fella, I'd say.
Yeah, I think he. I mean, I've never seen his picture, but going by what he said, I think.
No, if you see, it's out there. He did that, John, when he was using this face change thing, and because he cast a shadow on his face, you could see his real face.
Come to his original. Oh, I'd like to see that.
And he's actually quite a good-looking fella, yes. So
yeah, I'd like to see that. She showed me wasn't clean.
I know he does have grubby fingernails, doesn't he? I mean, when you see the hands, you think grubby fingernails.
And he's a stalker.
And he likes his gas masks as well.
Yeah, and wanking.
Oh, hey.
Wanking a lot.
I know, my God.
Apart from that, he's a really nice guy.
A really nice fella, he is. A really, really nice fella. So anyway, what I'll have to do, I'll have to wind it up. And do you know what? This ring, do you know what I do? You know when I'm talking, I start playing with these bloody things and I end up putting them on the wrong finger and it kills me. But anyway, Thanks for joining us,
Yeah, thanks
Paris.
for
That
having
was
us on,
absolutely
Anne.
wonderful. And Liz that joined us. And next time I'll come on. When will I be on again? Let's see. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday's a good. Do you think Saturday or Sunday?
You said you was going to come on Friday or Monday, and you ended up on tonight.
I know, because I thought I want to pace it. Why can't we have 8 days in a week? If you had 8 days in a week, you could do it in. This is me be autism coming out. I like everything in little sections, and it's like, why can't we have 8 weeks? Then I could get it in a, in a line of perfect days in between
Every other day.
Yeah, instead of like, oh well, that one's a day afterward. That one's 2 days or 3 days after.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of, but I think I might do. You see, Saturday, most people. I don't know. I'll try. Let's see if I do. I've got Wednesday. It would be
You
logically
think
Sunday.
about it, and before the weekend.
See, this is what troubles me. It keeps me up at night.
Because this could be as long as the live.
I know it can't be work now. So lovely speaking to you, Paris.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me on, Anne.
everyone.
And thanks, chat, for your input. Don't forget to press the like button before you leave.
Oh, yeah, me like button and say how beautiful it was.
It all helps with the algorithm.
It does. Anyway, take care, everyone, and night for now. Bye,
Cheers,
darlings.
Bye.
Bye now.
Cheers, chat. Bye.